doesn't mean that he wasn't in that time in a fairly sort of challenging situation. We've spoken about the difficulties of isolation, lockdown, all those things, but that is the decision that has been made by Eoin Morgan and the England selection panel today to give Jos Buttler the captaincy and the gloves. In terms of what England are looking to get out of these matches with the bat, clearly they've got a little bit more of an idea perhaps in terms of their opening two with Jos Buttler and Jason Roy. That seems to be the preferred partnership. What about Dawid Malan, Moeen Ali at 3 and 4? It feels like those are positions that could be up for debate.
Well, I suppose you've got these games now to really figure out what you're going to do in the World Cup. They've got the World Cup coming up in October, so they can sort of go into these games and experiment a little bit. You can't drop Liam Livingstone off the back of the other day, so maybe Captain Eoin Morgan said, right, we've got to keep Livingstone in, I'll have a rest and we'll look at other people as well.
Yeah, it's an interesting time. There's no doubt about that. Buttler wouldn't be drawn then on what would be a good score. 192 is the average first innings score in the Blast here this year. It is a big ground, but it's a ground that provides a lot of runs.
It is a ground that provides a lot of runs, and there's always just a little bit in it for the bowlers as well, to keep the bowlers just interested. You know, quite often when we play here as girls, we get a little bit out the wicket, a little bit of turn, and sometimes a bit of seam movement up front with the swinging ball. And
this is as good a conditions as you could wish to see. The sun is shining, there's a good crowd in, they'll be expecting runs, they'll be expecting big scores, and there's nothing to suggest that we won't get a game that wasn't, it isn't too far away from what we saw on Friday night at Trent Bridge.
No, I think between these two sides it's always going to be entertaining. They both play exciting T20 cricket, and I was walking through the crowd because I was a little bit late before, and the crowd are all raring to go. They've all got their trumpets, they've all got their shirts on, and it is absolutely heaving out there.
How was it out there? Because I came in a little while ago, it wasn't nearly as busy. How's the atmosphere?
Absolutely heaving out there. It just feels like normal times. The fans are all getting drinks in, they're all sat in their sun hats, they've got the sunglasses on, and the crowd's filling up, and it's going to be a good atmosphere.
Yeah, it is going to be a good atmosphere, no question. And it is funny, you think back to 2 years ago, the last time that England played an international here, the day of Ben Stokes, everything that's gone between then and now, and once again the sun is shining, a big crowd is in, ready for a day of international cricket. And there is a sense, isn't there, that particularly I felt that on Friday night, that supporters are just so eager to have a good time and just get completely engrossed and sort of engulfed in exciting cricket.
Well, I mean, after the 2 years we had a halt on sport. We couldn't watch any sport, and then there was no crowds allowed in, and now the world's sort of slowly opening up again, and people can go and watch live sport. It's entertaining. People want to be here. People want something to watch, and if it's anything by Friday's game, it's going to be entertaining.
Yeah, it should be, certainly. Should also say this game's live on BBC One television, so you can watch every single ball live with Isha Gura and the team. We've got Michael Vaughan, Jimmy Anderson, Atif Nawaz, all part of the side, and that is, as I say, live on BBC One television at the moment. We'll keep going here on the Test Match Special. If you're out and about, maybe lying in the garden on a warm summer's day, listening to the cricket here from Headingley. The umpires are on the boundary edge, the two sides just preparing, getting ready. I can see that England's openers aren't far from making their way to the middle. Jos Buttler back in the side is a huge boost to England, because he's had a funny old time of it, in and out of the side, then injury, all of the difficulties England have with the COVID outbreak in the one-day squad, but he's back in the team now, and this is a huge boost. Yeah,
it is a huge boost, and as I said, they've got the World Cup in October, so he needs to be playing as much cricket as he can, because he's going to play a vital role for England moving forward. We all know what he's capable of. We all love watching him bat, so to see him back out there in an England shirt and opening the batting, and captain tonight as well.
Yep, absolutely. Liam Livingstone, that 100 was remarkable, and he's a sort of player that comes out with ridiculous levels of confidence, and every time that he bats he looks as though he expects to score 100. You sort of need that in T20 cricket, right?
You do, and he describes himself as a hitter, not a batter. He goes out there and he slogs it. He's a slogger, isn't he? He plays these cricket shots that he just swings across the line of the ball, and I'm not taking anything away from his cricket talent, because he's an unbelievable cricketer, and it's so entertaining to watch. But he's a striker of the ball.
And I suppose, often we talk about who in the white ball setup might graduate to the Test side. Is what you're saying that Liam Livingstone isn't necessarily that sort of player?
Well, you say that. He missed out on the IPL last year because he wanted to play four-day cricket.
Well, yes. How did that go?
I have no idea.
Okay, we'll see if we can get that for you. He is somebody, though, that it's one of those, isn't it, that his hand-eye coordination is just... it was in the commentary box with Jimmy Anderson off-air the other night at Trent Bridge, and he's, after about, 20-30 deliveries of Livingstone's innings when he was on about 75. Anderson says he's just everything has come out of the middle of the bat.
Literally everything, and he's one of those players that he's not scared of failing. You know, he's got this. Quite a few people go out there and they have a fear of failure, and he doesn't have that. You know, he goes out, he knows his role. He's there to take advantage when he plays cricket for Lancashire of the power play, and then here tonight when he's a little bit down the order, I think he's just going to play his natural game. He plays one way and one way only.
Yeah, he has one gear, and that is just to try and swing as hard as he possibly can. Umpires are coming out to the middle. Before we get started, Alex, Pakistan 3-0 loss in the ODI series. To have come back as they did in that first T20, that was quite a sign of the strength of character.
Yeah, it was. There's always that bounce back ability, and it's a fresh series. Yes, they had the 3-0 loss to what we all kept saying was England's third team, second team, third team. It would have hit them quite hard. They wouldn't have been expecting to play the team they did, so you can sort of forgive them a little bit, but they didn't play anywhere near their best cricket. So they've bounced back. They played unbelievable cricket the other night, and they'll be after doing the same again today.
The last thing this crowd need is flamethrowers warming them up a little bit more, but that's what we've got. 8 of them as Jos Buttler and Jason Roy walk out to the middle, a little punch of the gloves. England in their red T20 shirts with the dark trousers, Pakistan in the 2 shades of green. The 2 umpires all in black out in the middle, and it is Buttler and Roy who are tasked with getting England off to a good start. Pakistan backing themselves to chase this down, whatever this will be. And interesting that both sides, we talk a lot about England preparing for the T20 World Cup, but every side in world cricket is trying to find the right formulas and try and get different scenarios set up to know exactly how they're going to play things come the autumn.
Yeah, so it's good that we're seeing Pakistan going out and bowling first, so then they can chase. We saw them set a huge target the other night. They had a big tick with that, so now they're out there, they're bowling first, and they're going to see how they can go about a run chase.
Yeah, 81st match for Jos Buttler this in T20 cricket. He's got his highest T20 score earlier this year against India. For Jason Roy, his 47th T20 match. He played a really good hand at the start of the innings the other night. Looked to be the man that was going to lead the way for England in that run chase. He fell eventually for 32 from just 13. But he certainly looked in excellent touch. He's got an interesting hairdo this series as well, actually. He's bleached it blonde.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'm about that life, you know.
No?
I don't think I've seen anybody that it suits.
No, there's sort of slightly an air of Pat Butcher about him. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I think it's filthy, and it needs to be shaved off and start again.
You're not having it, are you? Right, we're ready to go. And we have the sun shining, Jason Roy on strike, and a really good noise around Headingley. We're going to see left arm spin to kick things off, with Roy punching the ball back down the ground. And as far as the fielder at mid-off, just easing his way, finding a little bit of the length of the pitch, the way it's playing. Imad Wasim, who a couple of nights ago bowled actually reasonably well for someone that went at more than 10 and over, and he's in now around the wicket. Wow, that's big, into the leg side, into the Western Terrace, and it's exactly as we left it on Friday night. Goodness me, what a hit that is.
That is absolutely huge from Jason Roy, straight into the Western Terrace. You can hear the crowd roar. They've got the entertainment thereafter after 2 deliveries.
It was one little sighter. You can have that down to mid-off, and then, right, I've had enough of this. Dismissing it from his presence, and Wasim just put his hand on his head, looked and followed the trajectory of the ball. It went out towards the big screen and the waiting arms of those supporters. What a hit.
Straight out the middle of the bat. Just the one-sighter for Jason Roy to get himself in.
There's a fielder at deep mid-wicket and long on, no chance. Roy waiting, going into the leg side again along the ground this time, a little squarer, and it is 4. England 10 without loss, and they are motoring in the first over.
Brilliant cricket that from Jason Roy. We've seen the slog sweep straight into the Western Terrace over mid-wicket. That time he's kept the ball on the floor, he's played it on its head, past square leg, and that's 4 runs.
A little shake of the head from Imad Wasim, who feels that he may be a little hard done by that, but it was a bit leg side-ish, and he didn't need to get absolutely everything on it to ensure he'd get 4 runs. Field up inside the circle, again leg side-ish, again a big swing, and it goes past the bat into the gloves of Rizwan and will be signalled wide. England 11 without loss.
And a shake of the head from Jason Roy, because he knows that ball's going down the leg side, square leg, he's up inside the ring, so we can only have 2 fielders outside of the fielding circle.
Wasim swings his arms round again. Roy, well, he's got an outside edge of this. Can a fielder get underneath it? They should do. Yes, the catch is taken. Running round from backward point. And Wasim wins the battle. He may have lost a couple of the early exchanges, but Jason Roy's out in the first over. England 11 for 1. It's skewed off an outside edge, and as it looped away towards the fielder, two were converging upon it. Eventually, it landed safely in the hands of backward point, and Jason Roy has to go. He's out for 10, England 11 for 1.
Yep, Jason Roy going for the big heave over long on. Long on is out on the boundary, but he backed himself to clear it. Got the outside edge and a pretty simple catch for backward point there. He will be furious because he was striking the ball so well.
Hafeez, it was, taking the catch, and it was pretty straightforward in the end. It was up there quite a while. One that you wondered if it might just squirm away from the field inside the circle, but he didn't quite get enough on it. And he has to go. 11 for 1 is the score. We've got 2 balls still left of this first over, and I feel like I've done a workout just watching these first 4 balls of it.
Well, it's all going on, isn't it? It's all happening. We've had a 6, a 4 and a wicket.
Dawid Malan was number 1 T20 batsman. It still sort of doesn't feel quite right, that.
I know what you mean, because he's not one of these players like a Liam Livingstone that goes out and sets the world on fire, but he's always the backbone to a batting innings, and hence why he's number 1 in the world.
Well, what he does is accumulate and act as a foil for perhaps the more aggressive players, but he'll be knowing that, you know, rankings are one thing, but he'll want to keep contributing with the runs. Imad Wasim to bowl to Buttler. Batters having crossed, it's a dot ball defended back down the track. We've got a ball left of the first over.
I think we just had a boo from the crowd for a dot ball.
Quite right too.
Let him get himself in, he's not faced the delivery yet.
You sense the crowd are here for one thing and one thing only. Buttler waiting, Wasim round the wicket, and Buttler goes into the offside. It was just a little uppish and it stopped at cover point, and the over comes to an end. A dramatic one, 11 for 1 after 1 over. Buttler and Malan both yet to score. The wickets have fallen. Jason Roy, a top edge to a Hafeez at backward point. And we are up and running in the sunshine at Leeds.
We are, and it's absolutely roasting, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not the day for a grey t-shirt, one would...
No. Or a grey shirt, a thick grey shirt.
Yeah, I think we both had a bit of a shocker.
We've had a disaster here. We're right by... It's a little bit greenhousey, this commentary box.
I've had to take my shoes off on that one.
Oh, what a treat for us all.
Thought I'd treat you all in the comments box today.
Right, 11 for 1. There's going to be Shaheen Shah Afridi to bowl the second over. He took the conclusive wicket in the first match, and he's a bowler with quite a lot of swagger. 21 years old, 6'6". And he's at the far end of the ground, underneath that enormous football stand that was put up a couple of years ago. And he's going to bowl to the left-handed Dawid Malan. It's a slip in place, 2 outside the circle. And, just behind square on the leg side, and at deep third, so there's a little bit of toing and froing at the far end. I think it is a gentleman in a Panama hat walking down the steps that has caught the eye of Dawid Malan. Just above the sight screen. Is he happy now? Well, the problem is there are supporters piling out of the bar into that tier just above the sight screen, and so there is a little bit of having to just stop traffic to make sure there's nothing in the eye line of the batsman. Everyone is happy, and here comes the tall figure, Shaheen Shah Afridi, to bowl to Malan, up on his toes, defending into the offside, and there is no run.
You often think you go to a cricket game, you should know the rules of don't move behind the sight screen. But I was watching Lancashire Lightning play the other day, and we were in the away dressing room, right behind the bowler's arm, and when you're not really paying attention, you get a little bit giddy, you have a drink, you forget about all those rules.
And you just sort of
keep putting the batter off.
Yeah. Here comes Shaheen Shah Afridi over the wicket, bowling to Malan with a beauty. Wow, how's that missed everything? What a ball.
What a ball we've got. Keeper with his hands on his head, bowler with his hands on his head. Malan, he knew it was good leave.
Yeah, 2 types of leave. It came in and then left him, and it is as good a ball as you could wish to see. Wow.
Yeah, we said before the start of play, there's always a little bit in the surface for the bowlers, and that one just nipping away from the left-hander.
Malan, 0 from 2. Afridi approaching once again. Malan waits. Leading edge drops into the onside. The bowler runs around enthusiastically, but there won't be the opportunity for a catch. It is a single to move Malan to 1, and England 12 for 1 midway through the second over. So Jos Buttler yet to score will be on strike. There's a little conference going on between Buttler and Malan, who do a little bit of gardening halfway down the pitch.
Malan will just be saying to Buttler, look, there's just a little bit of nip off the surface.
Buttler scratching his guard, sees the fielders outside the circle. That's square leg and deep thirds. The same 2 out for Buttler as for Malan. And there's that slip in place as well, in the form of Sohaib Maqsood. Afridi at the end of his mark. Again, we've got some movement. And there's somebody actually crawling.
I know what it is, it's the windows.
It's a dog. It's not someone crawling, it's a dog. Here comes Afridi to Buttler, driving through the offside gloriously. It races to the cover boundary, and Buttler gets his first runs. England 16 for 1.
A great shot that from Buttler, just leaning on it and pushing it through the covers. We've got a slip in place, we've got a covering cover and extra cover. We've just played it straight enough to beat that cover fielder.
It's such a good shot. You're going to have to forgive me. I thought it was someone trying to crawl out of the way.
So the windows reflect. When the doors are open, the sun reflects off the open doors, so the doors have to be closed.
Okay.
For the sun not to reflect off them.
And there's people trying to find their seats all the time.
People opening and closing the doors.
Yeah. Okay. Buttler is on 4. England 16 for 1. We've got a couple of balls left of this second over as Afridi moves in to bowl. Buttler on his toes is defending. This has been a watchful over in the main from England after the fireworks from Jason Roy. Afridi, who took a brilliant catch off his own bowling the other night to remove Malan. Picked up the wickets of Jonny Bairstow in there, and also Matt Parkinson to wrap things up. He had a good night with the ball. Bowls just so quickly. But Buttler is waiting, running the ball towards backward point, and a single will be taken easily enough. England moving to 17 for 1 after 2 overs. And hopefully the next over won't see quite as many interruptions from that far end, and people will find their seats by the time that we see Afridi bowling, if it is indeed him, from that far end. Now, Alex, this is an exciting week for cricket, for you, because it's the start of the 100.
It is indeed. I am so excited.
You're playing in the opening game.
I am a bit nervous about that, you know.
Are you? BBC Two?
It's on the TV, it's on BBC Two. Obviously, it'll be on the radio as well. So, a big game.
It is a big... Now, what you don't want to do is bowl badly, Alex.
Well, there's always going to be someone that does something for the first time, isn't there? You know, someone hits a 6, someone bowls the first delivery. I feel like it could go one of 2 ways for me. I might, get 5 for, or I might bowl 20 balls and go for 60.
Wasim to continue, bowling to Buttler, clipping the ball out to deep mid-wicket into the vacant space. And 1 run is taken. England 18 for 1. Have you asked your captain, Kate Cross, if you're going to get the first delivery?
Well, I couldn't possibly say that, but we did play 2 warm-up games the other day, and I opened the bowling.
Okay. This is exciting news.
It is indeed. It was good to play, actually. It was hard to get used to. It's still a game of cricket. Whoever scores the most runs wins. But it was one of those where it's a new concept, so I'm glad we've had a warm-up game just to find our feet a little bit.
All gets underway on Wednesday. Coverage on BBC Two from 6 p.m. 6:15 we'll be live on 5 Live, bringing you all the action from the opening night. Every game will be on BBC Radio. Really looking forward to it. Malan is on strike here with left arm spin of Wasim bowling, punched as far as cover, and there's no run. 18 for 1. Malan has 1 from 4.
It's not often in the power play you see a spin bowler, bowling 2 overs back to back. But he did get the wicket of Jason Roy, although he was quite expensive.
Wasim jots that arm out, bowling to Malan. That's gone in the air. Can someone get underneath it? Yes, the fielder at short third gets there. Malan departs for a fairly innocuous, 1 from 5. It's not the innings he was looking for, not the innings England were looking for. And they're 18 for 2.
Yeah, Malan just looking to sweep that into the leg side and getting a top edge on it. The ball probably just outside off stump. It was there to sweep. But Malan wasn't in the right position, and a decent catch, but still a simple catch. Another top edge for England, and Malan departs.
Azam Khan running in to take what was, as you say, a reasonably straightforward catch. As David Malan departs, and every innings that goes by, Alex, where players fail, that pressure builds. They know the countdown to that T20 World Cup.
It does indeed. Milan even came out and said it doesn't matter if I'm the world's best T20 batter, I still have to try and keep my place in this England side. This England white ball side is one of a kind, isn't it? They have so many options, so much choice. The fact that we've got Moeen Ali now, we haven't seen him score runs for a while, but he's still a world-class batter.
He is, and gets another opportunity batting at 4 with England 18 for 2. We're midway through the third over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Just looking at David Malan's recent scores. One in the last game, I should say. A duck, and then another duck. So 0-0-1-1, all a little binary from at the moment. But prior to that, 68 not out and 76. So he's in a dip of form. But prior to that, it was looking in good touch. Moeen Ali, left-hander, is forward, chipping the ball just past Imad Wasim. It runs up towards long on. Ali's up and running. England 19 for 2.
I suppose that's T20 cricket as well, and the beauty of it, you can get in and score runs, but if you're playing a certain brand of cricket and you have to be attacking, you are going to fail.
And that's the licence that they've been given, this England side, isn't it? And it was very clear post-2015 that the identity of the side, much in the mould of that New Zealand team led by Brendan McCullum, was you have that licence. Azim to bowl to Buttler, who defends very cautiously and carefully into the offside.
Yeah, and there's, as we keep saying, the fear of failure. That's been taken away from this England side. They play an aggressive brand of cricket, and you just have to accept sometimes you are going to lose quick wickets, and there might be the odd occasion where you get bowled out for 120, 130, but, you know, they play exceptional cricket to this white ball side.
Wasim to Buttler, moving around in the crease and going hard through the offside for 4. He just distracted the bowler enough to see him losing his length. Buttler wins that battle and picks up 4 to finish the third over, 23 for 2.
Yeah, so good that from Josh Buttler. He just moved his back leg to try and put the bowler off, and has done exactly that. The bowler then has gone outside the off stump, because quite often when we see Buttler trigger, he goes for the little ramp shot and the paddle, but he didn't. He went for the extra cover drive and he timed it perfectly.
From a bowler's point of view, how much work do you do at preparing yourself for those distractions that a batter might try and influence you with?
It's one of those where you're constantly having conversations with the bowling coach. You know, I was bowling at Mignon Dupree, who's our middle order batter in the 100, and she's moving right outside the off stump. I said, well, do I follow or do I go at the stumps? He said, well, how are you going to get her out? I said, well, I've got to hit the stumps. So just bowl at the stumps. But it is hard, it is off-putting, and I suppose that's the beauty of being a batter, that you can do all these tricks and try everything you can to put the bowlers off.
Shaheen Afridi at the end of his mark will continue from the far end, the football ground end, as Moeen Ali ducks out of the way of a very quick, hostile delivery. And through to the gloves of Rizwan, 23 for 2.
No interest in taking that on Moeen Ali there.
It was short. It was comfortable enough to get out of the way. And it would have been a reasonably risky shot, because there is a fielder on the boundary at square leg. The other man out is at deep third. And we do have that slip still for Shaheen Afridi, as Moeen waits, bat raised. And Shaheen Afridi into him, running the ball towards short third. There will be a quick single there if Buttler is swift enough, and he is. Moeen happy so far just to get bat on ball and enjoy watching from the non-striker's end.
Yeah, I think it's all about building partnerships now, isn't it? And they've lost 2 quick wickets. We know if somebody loses 3 wickets, if a team loses 3 wickets in the power play, then the percentage chance of winning the game drops dramatically. So England just have to get out this power play, build a little partnership.
24 for 2. Buttler has 10. And has looked in good touch in his return to the side. Afridi into him. Nicely run away. Goes behind square on the offside. It's a quick outfield, and I think this ball's going to the boundary. It is. Out towards the western terrace. The flames shoot up again. And Buttler, well, he's not just a cricketer about power and sixes. There is such clever delicacy in his touch as well.
Yeah, that one just guided past. Backward point between backward point and short third. And he's timed it perfectly as well. He's so good to watch, Josh Buttler.
And I imagine horrendous to bowl that. Shaheen Afridi approaching again. Left arm over to Buttler. He's again defending up on his toes. I've seen a little bit of that from Buttler. Anything straight, he's been very happy just to prod back to the bowler. Got 2 balls left of the 4th over. England 28 for 2.
We've just seen Jason Roy's hair on the replay of the television again. And it's so much worse than I remembered.
So he's had it bleach blonde. But really sort of very, very white.
Good on him, though, doing the Foden. Liam Livingstone and Ben Stokes now getting involved.
Yeah, Ben Stokes has gone grey, sort of platinum. Afridi to Buttler. Does look to be a little more expansive, but gets a bottom edge and back it goes to the bowler, who picks up and is followed through. We've got a ball left of the 4th over, 28 for 2.
Now, speaking of haircuts, Henry.
Yes.
You lost a bet on Twitter.
Oh, I did.
About growing a mullet, and it seems that you've had a haircut since this moment.
Yeah, but I didn't agree when I would do it.
Right, okay, so it wasn't from that moment.
No.
Were you hoping we forgot?
Yes.
Well, we haven't forgotten.
You and Kate Cross. Yeah. I agreed to grow my hair like Colin de Grandhomme.
And have we seen it? No, we haven't.
It's only been a month. 28 for 2. Buttler on strike. Defends. There'll be no run. End of the over. It's been a good start from Shaheen Afridi. Just 11 runs coming from his first couple. And England 28 for 2. In the sunshine at Headingley. 4 overs gone. Pakistan having won the toss and prized out a couple of early wickets as well. Ali's on 2. Buttler's on 14. I would like to grow a mullet.
I would like you to grow a mullet.
I know you would. It's just the intervening sort of semi-stage that's the worry for me.
It always is. You know, you got to commit though.
Yeah. Well, you know, why not? You only live once.
Oh.
28 for 2. I think I underestimated. Kate asked how many retweets, and I went 1,000.
For somebody that's got over 100,000 followers as well, Kate Cross, I think you went very low.
That was an error on my part.
Yeah, you read the situation incredibly badly.
It was done within about half an hour. There we go. Right then, Hasnain is going to bowl. We've got fielders in the deep square leg, and in the shadows at deep third as Moeen Ali waits for Hasnain. Right arm over. Up on his toes, defending into the offside behind square. Hafeez will pick up and there's no run. I really like Hasnain. I thought he bowled superbly. 1 for 28 a couple of nights ago. And just seemed to have that ability that nobody else had of stemming the runs. When wherever you looked, sixes were being struck. And you can understand why Babar Azam has turned to him now, just to try and build the pressure after a reasonably low-scoring over. Get your economical bowler on. Keep building that pressure. Hasnain in again. That's wide outside the off stump, and Moeen Ali drives furiously and drives for 4 runs. It was off the outside half of the bat. Fielder at backward point wasn't a million miles away from it. But Moeen, when it was pitched up and with that much width, was always likely to go hard at it.
Yeah, we can see Moeen Ali just practicing the shot that he wanted to play, but it was wide. Not quite where he wanted the ball to go, but he's picked up a boundary with it.
So Moeen moves to 6, 32 for 2 is the England score. We're into the penultimate over of the power play. Still the field remains the same with the 2 out. And we now have got a disturbance below us. Saggers has seen something that doesn't like. And has name with 87 on his back, running away from us. Long strides to bowl to Moeen Ali, who's up on his toes, clipping the ball behind square, and there is protection, so it won't be more than a single. England advancing, 33 for 2.
Yeah, Moeen Ali just happy to play the ball in its merit so far this afternoon. Nearly said this evening. It's definitely not this evening.
No, it's only 10 to 3.
It's not often we get a T20 at this time of the day, though.
Yeah, weekend.
Of course. All my days now have sort of merged into one. When you're in the middle of a cricket competition, you don't get weekends. You just get days off.
Yeah, and you basically rarely get them as well in cricket. But you wouldn't have it any other way.
No, I've got the best job in the world.
Well, you're playing and commentating. 33 for 2, midway through the 5th over. Hasnain bowling to Buttler. Oh, he moves again around the crease. This time he plays the ramp. This time he gets 6. Glorious batting from Jos Buttler. Goodness, what a good shot. 39 for 2.
He just plays that shot so well with such ease. He triggers, he moves to the leg side, and then he sets himself. He goes down, and he's hit it for 6, and he's just placed it off the middle of his bat. I mean, even with a fine leg out, that's still a boundary. What a shot from Jos Buttler.
It's gone a long way over the boundary as well.
It's one of those shots where you have to be committed. You have to be in line. Your head has to be in line with your body, and you just have to watch the ball onto the bat.
11 from the over already. 2 balls left off it. Butler's on 20. It's Hasnain in the sunshine bowling. Driven off an outside edge, running towards deep third and winning the race as well. The fielder, Azam Khan, wasn't that far from it, but he couldn't get across. And this has been an expensive over. 15 from it so far. England 43 for 2.
Yeah, frustrating that as a bowler. Shouldn't have really been a boundary. An outside edge from Jos Buttler. Not the quickest is Azam Khan. 4 runs.
It never looked like a race that Azam Khan was going to win that.
Not when Jos Buttler hits it like a tracer bullet.
Even off the outside edge, it was really travelling. Hasnain is coming into bowl. Arms pumping. Right arm over. Buttler driving. Again through the offside. Again it beats the dive of the fielder, and it's going to be 4 more. Behind square. Hafeez at backward point. Couldn't get there. 19 from the 5th over, and England 47 for 2. That is exactly what Buttler and Ali were looking for. An over just to break free and get England's innings back on track. 47 for 2, 5 overs gone. Alex Hartley, some more from you. And then for the first time today, it'll be Scott Reed.
Well, at the start of the over, England's run rate was 7. It's now gone up to 9.4, so that just shows how important that over was for England. We said that he brought that bowler on because he bowled well the other evening, and he sort of stemmed the flow of runs. But England will have done their research, and they're on the counter-attack. And 19 runs coming off that over. A huge over for England. And some brilliant cricket shots from Jos Buttler. Paddling the ball for 6, driving the ball through the covers for 4. It's the Jos Buttler we all know and love.
Well, isn't this fun?
Hello.
Hello.
Is this the first time this year?
I think it could be for you and me. I think it could be.
What a treat.
You're looking pretty cool in your shades.
Thank you. It's bright out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. It's quite warm out, isn't it?
I'm sweating. Don't know about you.
I suspect 1 or 2 are also on the Western Terrace as well, with the sun beating down. 5 overs gone then, 47 for 2. Moeen on strike. And Ralph in and bowling. That's cut away. 4 more. Short and wide. And Moeen Ali onto it in a flash. And after a sticky start to this power play, England have picked up. Brings up to 50 as well. 51 for 2.
A cut shot that from Moeen Ali. He plays it up on his toes. He knows the ball's still travelling with the shortness of that ball, so he's up. He plays the cut shot. Pass backward point. What a shot.
Terrific, wasn't he? Plays it so well. Good flurry through of the bat. Put to the gloves between Moeen and Jos Buttler. 51 for 2. Good response from England after a shaky start in this power play. This is driven through the offside for 4 more. Pearce in the infield, to the left of extra cover, to the right of mid-off. Races out towards the boundary rope, and Moeen's up to 15. England 55 for 2.
Again, Harry's just not quite getting his length right. He's tried to adjust and he's tried to go fuller, but he's gone too full. That was straight in the slot. and Moeen Ali able to take full advantage.
It's a double bowling change by Babar Azam, and so far Haris Rauf has not yet hit his line or his length. Into Moeen, this time bowling over the wicket, just tucked off the pads actually, out towards the onside, and gets through for a single. The score moves up to 56 for 2. We're halfway into the 6th over, the final over of the power play, and England with 56 on the board and just 2 wickets down. That's okay, isn't it?
Yeah, they've done incredibly well. They got off to that brilliant start from Jason Roy, then they lost the 2 quick wickets, Roy and Malan, and they had to rebuild. They took an over and a half to rebuild. We sort of had a passage of play that was quite boring, but it just shows how good these two are when they've taken full advantage. 19 off the last over.
3 balls left of this power play. This time it's Buttler on strike, clipped away towards wide mid-on for a single. And just angled into the pads of Buttler. England move to 57 for 2. Buttler to 29, brings Moeen back on strike. Field changes with a deep square leg pushed out towards the boundary rope. A deep third. There's a mid-off, a mid-on, a mid-wicket, short fine leg, backward point, and extra cover and a mid-off. From the Emerald stand end, running in towards us, short and wide, but how far wide? Too far wide. The umpire spins around, arms outstretched, and the score moves on to 58 for 2.
Moeen Ali not interested in the slighter of that. He almost looked at the ball and said, what a pile of filth.
I did balloon up, didn't it? Banged in short and wide, and he kind of stood there, Moeen, in the crease, just leaning back and watching the ball travel way beyond his reach. And the inevitable signal from the umpire. 58 for 2. There's Haris Rauf in and bowls again, full of balls, swatted away through the onside. It's gone for 4 out towards wide long on. It's been a good over this for England. It's been a tough one for Pakistan. England move up to 62 for 2.
A little bit of a misfield there at mid-wicket. Diving over the ball. Not ideal. Pakistan need to be stopping the flow of boundaries here. Moeen Ali going for the shot through the covers, but getting inside edge, and it's going into the leg side.
Yeah, and as soon as that beats the infield, quick, hard, firm outfield, timed well, rattled its way towards the boundary for 4. It's the 3rd, 4th of the over. Final ball of the power play. Moeen waiting and driving and adding more runs for England, pushing away square of the wicket to backward point. Well, that's a terrific over for Moeen Ali in particular, for England as well. It concludes the power play 66 for 2. Buttler has 29, Moeen on 24 at the power play stage.
And what a power play for England. 38 runs coming off the last 2 overs of this power play. Just shows the importance of building partnerships and batting together, and England have done that. They've lost those 2 quick wickets early on, but the run rate now 11 and over. Scary.
You said that with a great deal of gusto.
Because England are just great at cricket.
66 for 2. I think we're going to have a change in the commentary box, I think. Alex Hartley's going to leave us, and Azam is going to come in and assess this power play. Blimey, it's a tough one for the bowlers, isn't it? The pitch looks an absolute road. The outfield's lightning fast. The weather is beautiful. It's like a terrific day to bat. Yeah, good luck. Good luck for the bowlers in this fixture. So Buttler 29 and Moeen on 24, and Shadab Khan, now the power play is done, is introduced into the attack, and Azam Mahmood alongside me. What we're thinking, 6 overs gone. It was a good half to the power play, but then a great second half for England, wasn't it?
Yeah, certainly momentum is shifting towards England way, and first 4 overs were really good, and then Hasnan and Haris Rauf went for 19.
And there's Shadab in and bowling, and Buttler pushing forward just through extra cover for a single. Moves up to 30, 67 for 2. And that can happen, can't it? You see that so many times. One team dominates the first half and the other team comes back.
Yeah, that's the T20 cricket for you. Like one hour can change the momentum. And but Buttler shows his class. It wasn't nothing wrong with the delivery. The scoop of Hasnan. He bowled a good delivery and went for 6. And certainly, you as a bowler, you're under pressure. Where you want to bowl that?
Should have in and bowling, just dropping a wee bit short. Moeen goes back and whips the ball through the onside out towards deep mid wicket. He moves on to 25, and England to 68 for 2.
That was good, smart cricket from Buttler, you know, like putting pressure on the young guy. He bowled really well in the last T20 game. So he's inexperienced, but, you know, Buttler shows his class.
Brings up the 50 partnership too as well. That little single tickled away through the onside. So 50 off 24 between Moeen Ali and Jos Buttler. Shadab in balls. Foolish ball, which Buttler drives out towards wide. Long off. Wants to come back for a second. Does come back for a second. Hasnain sliding across the ground on the long off boundary to scoop the ball up, but Buttler does add 2 to his total. Score moves on to 70 for 2. Buttler now to 32. Shadab Khan in from the Kirkstall lane end. As soon as the power play complete, Babar Azam turns to his prime spinner. This is driven away through the offside by Buttler. Just for one. Picked up in the deep, had it deep extra cover. Buttler to 33. England tick along to 71 for 2. 2 balls left of the 7th over.
That's the shot we were talking about there.
Little scoop. You see all the shots in the T20, don't you? Buttler, I think he's created some of his own. Off the back foot, mothered away through the onside for 4 by Moeen Ali. Out through deep mid-wicket. Just rocked back into his crease and slapped it away through the leg side for 4. And England to 75 for 2.
He was just traction shot and he picked the length so early. Went back and hit through mid-wicket. What a shot that was. He's a dangerous customer. We saw him playing in IPL as well. So if he's there for another 5-6 over with Buttler, so chasing big total.
Moeen goes down on one knee. Slog sweeps out through the onside for 6. Well, Moeen Ali onto 35 from just 14 deliveries. A 4 and a 6 to end the over. It was an over of quite calm for Pakistan, but it's ended with the flames flying up in the distance in front of the Western Terrace. 7 overs gone, England 81 for 2.
Brilliant stacking. He picked his spot and hit through the wind. What a great shot that was. When he hits, he does hit well, and he does hit long.
He is such a magnificent timer, isn't he, of the cricket ball, Moeen Ali?
Amazing. In last 4 overs, almost 60 runs in last 3 overs, sorry. Puts pressure on Pakistan.
Yeah, where do they go from here then? 2 expensive overs, that.
You know, Pakistan are thinking here, just need another wicket to put the brakes on the run rate at the moment.
We're back to Mohammad Hasnain from the Emerald stand. He's bowled 1 over, it went for 19. He's got Buttler on strike. Here he comes, bouncing in. Oh, and just at the last minute, something didn't quite feel right. He just pulls away. He was almost completely through his action then, wasn't he?
Yeah, he has this habit, you know, I've seen him so many times before, you know, like he can stop it. Maybe his back foot stuck at the crease when he is on a takeoff.
Yeah, just didn't quite feel right for him, so he pulls away, back towards his mark with that 3-tiered stand, the new stand here at Headingley, towering up behind him. In bright sunshine, in and balls to Buttler, up onto his toes, carves the ball away through the offside. With a sweeper on that cover boundary. Fakhar Zaman there for Pakistan. Buttler moves up to 34. And England to 82 for 2. We're in the 8th over here at Headingley. 5 Live Sports Extra. It's TMS, it's the T20 International. It's England against Pakistan. It's the turn for the cricketing lovers of Yorkshire, in particular, West Yorkshire, to enjoy some live international cricket. The ground is full to capacity. You could not have wished for a better day. It is beautiful and warm and bright and sunny. It's Hasnain balls to Moeen. Oh, and that signal is a wide.
Not a bad idea to bowl bouncer against Moeen Ali. You know, we saw internationally he struggled with the short pitch delivery, and this time it was too high.
Banged in just short. Moeen just bends his knees, drops his hands at the last moment, allows that to travel through to the keeper, and the umpires signal a wide. Score ticks along to 83 for 2. Need a wicket here, Pakistan need to break this partnership. Hasnain in and balls to Moeen. That's taken off his hip, just swatted away through the onside, out through deep mid-wicket. And Moeen moves up to 36, and England to 84 for 2.
I think if I was his man, I'll come round the wicket and bowl, attack the stumps and attack the body of Moeen. Because he's such a good player through offside. Anything with, he is going to murder you.
Buttler back on strike. Hasnain, arms pumping back and forth in over the wicket balls. Buttler just pushes it away through the onside up towards mid-on. The ball rolls slowly towards the edge of that 30-metre circle.
Much better line and length in this time, not giving any room to Buttler.
And you don't need to get it too wrong, do you? I mean, just a fraction wrong and it's put away.
Yeah, we saw Buttler play some cricketing shots, There wasn't any slogs. He just used the angle and pace of the bowler.
85 for 2, halfway into the 8th over. Moeen tapping the bat and beaten on 36. There's Nain in and balls to Moeen. Oh, that's punched to mid-off. And that's the breakthrough that Pakistan were searching for. And they've got Moeen just punching it up towards mid-off. Good catch. Breaks the partnership. Just what was required for Pakistan. 85 for 3 now, England. It was good while it lasted for England. It was good fun, but Moeen just punching to mid-off. And that's the 3rd wicket to fall.
Good bowling from Hasnan. Just to take the pace off of this ball, it was straight, no room, and Moeen wants to go over mid-off. But in the end, that was a good bowling, good change of pace from Hasnan. That's the thing with England, and that's the thing with Pakistan bowling lineup. They keep taking wickets, and that's the only way you can control opposition by making runs. And this bowling lineup has that ability to take wicket.
Babar Azam, skipper, taking the catch. Good catch too, wasn't it, as well? He was running away from him. He took it kind of shoulder height. Thought for a second the ball actually just gone past him, but put his hands behind it.
One of the better fielder in Pakistan lineup, Babar Azam, and leading from the front as well. So last game, I was really happy to see Pakistan, the way they fielded throughout the 20 overs, and, intent was there, aggression was there. That was missing in one-day series.
Kind of the body language as well of the players, that's important, isn't it?
Yeah, because they love this format, T20 format. We just played the PSL as well, so these guys like these format, and they love it. It's 20-over game, high intense game.
Well, that brings out to the middle Liam Livingstone, fresh from that blistering century at Trent Bridge on Friday evening.
What a knock that was. 43 ball 100. Wow,
incredible. Hasnain has got the breakthrough. Livingstone comes down the pitch towards him and flicks it off his thigh down to fine leg. It'll glance down towards the boundary down below us. Azam Khan fields, but Livingstone's off the mark with that. England move on to 86 for 3.
First ball coming down the wicket. He started where he left the other night.
There's just absolutely no respect shown, is there, these days?
This is a T20 format, you just need to attack the bowlers.
I'm going to take 2 steps down the pitch. First ball I face. Well, he must be bouncing after what happened at Trent Bridge on Friday, Livingstone. Buttler's back on strike. That's just nudged into the onside, up to mid-on for a single. Takes him to 36. That's a good over. That's a much needed over, that, wasn't it, for Pakistan? They've got the wicket. They've ended that partnership. 87 for 3.
A much better line and length from Hasnan. When the field placing is, fielders is out after the power play, give bowlers a little bit chance so they can bowl to their fielding. It's hard when you're bowling in the power play as a young bowler. You miss your line little bit and you get punished.
They've managed to perhaps wrestle themselves back into a position where they can try and just drag England back. 8 overs gone at 87 for 3. Shabnab Khan's going to continue from the Kirkstall Lane end. He's got Jos Buttler on strike. England captain, of course, for today. And they've Owen Morgan resting himself from the fixture. Butler's the skipper for England this afternoon. He's driving into the offside, but doesn't beat the infield. And there's no run. The field is a deep backward square leg. There's a deep mid-wicket. long on, long off, and deep extra cover. He's in a short fine leg, short third, backward point, and extra cover. Goes back this time, Buttler just tickles it off his pads, easing it away through the onside. Jogs through for a single, moves to 37. England moves to 88 for 3.
Shadab was brilliant in the last game, you know, like when he bowled the 16th over, that was the turning point of the game, you know, like took 2 wickets in that game and a great catch as well. So he's a wicket taker for Pakistan. Good to see him bowling better, you know, like a fuller length.
56 T20 international wickets. Plenty of experience already. This is off the front foot by Livingstone, pushing away into the offside. Only 22, but played a lot of international games, hasn't he? One-day international games, T20 games. It's obviously a different franchise as well. You're soaking up all this information. And bowling once more to Livingstone, who's striking off the front foot, pushing it through mid-off for a single. Doubles his total. He moves to 289 for 3.
Yeah, he's been part of Pakistan side for the last 3-4 years, you know, playing franchise cricket around the world as well, and PSL. So give them a lot of confidence to play this format of the game.
Might see quite a bit of leg spin today. Of course, England have got a couple in their team. Buttler goes back and cuts the ball, but it's a fumble at backward point. They think about running on that misfield and decide against it. No damage done. Picked it cleanly inside the circle.
Not a good fielding from Hafeez, you know, like Pakistan was brilliant in the last game. We saw a couple of misfielding already. We are into 9th over.
Yeah, this is the last ball of the 9th. Shadab Khan in and bowling to Buttler, who's going back and cutting out towards the point boundary, just for a single. End of the 9th, 90 for 3. As the supporters inside the ground are all enjoying the afternoon of cricket. It really is just a picture-perfect day for it. Not like wish for better weather. Dry forecast, full house, and a good competitive game of T20 cricket, I think.
Oh yeah, definitely. You know, look at that crowd. You know, good to see the crowd back again, and you know, we're playing in front of the crowd. The boys are loving it. You know, like we missed in the last couple of years. You know, hardly any crowd play the game, but now look at the atmosphere. You know, it was brilliant.
Wonderful colours all around the ground. Pakistan green, flashes of green, and little pockets dotted all over Headingley. White shirts of England as well. Everyone's in shorts and t-shirts today. it's that type of weather. If you're lucky enough, maybe a little bit of shade in the lower tier of the 3-tiered stand on the rugby side of the ground. Western Terrace is in good voice already. And Hasnain's going to continue.
Harris Rove.
Change of bowling, well spotted. Harris Rove comes into the attack and balls to Buttler. Little clip off the hip, down towards backward and square leg. Oh, it's a misfield. Down on the boundary. Doesn't look great, neither does it. Hasnain there on his backside trying to stop the ball. Got to it as well. Score ticks along to 94 for 3. Just one or two signs of a little bit of sloppy work in the field.
Yeah, Pakistan needs to up themselves. You know, they should be stopped at this level. You know.
To sheer weather, Azam Khan and Mohammad Hasnain were kind of leaving it for each other, and in the end, neither stopped it.
You need to call for that.
Yeah, didn't look good. 94 for 3. Buttler just clips the ball up towards mid-on, and there's no run.
I was just looking at the Buttler's strike rate. You know, in the power play, it's 159, middle overs, you know, 122, and then death 166. So this is a good time to keep him quiet a little bit. But he's such a good act, such a good player. You know, he can play the ball anywhere. 360, man.
Yeah. How do you keep Buttler quiet? That's a tricky question, isn't it?
Yeah. The good thing is keep taking wicket from the other side.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. He's on 42, Buttler. Short and tries to pull and does. Down towards backward square leg and gets 4 more. There is a long leg. There's a deep square leg. It's in between the two. Azam Khan probably the nearest to it at long leg, but he couldn't get round to cut that off. And Buttler edging towards a half century here, 46 not out.
That's two poor deliveries from Harith Rauf. You know, yes, Hasnan misfield the last one, but this was there to punish.
Well, Harith Rauf's gone for 27 from 1.3 overs so far. He's struggled. Can he pick it up in this over though? So much fuller ball to Buttler. He whips it off his toes through the onside. Not picked up cleanly, but no extra damage done. Just the one extra run to the total. So Buttler to 47 and England to 99 for 3. Brings Liam Livingstone back on strike.
Again, not a good pickup from Hasnan again. You know, he's been bowling and fielding at the crucial spot when he's bowling short deliveries.
Most of the misfields have been kind of out to our left, haven't they? At square leg, mid-wicket. There's Livingstone from the crease. Smacks it over long on for 4. Correction, for 6. All the way over the rope. Moves on to 8. That brings up the 100 for England. 105 for 3 with 1 ball left of the 10th.
Slightly fuller, and we know what Livingstone can do that. What a clean striking. What a shot that was.
That is kind of in his slot though, isn't it, that?
Yeah.
For Liam Livingstone, fresh from a century on Friday, he's kind of smacked me out the ground type material. 6 for Livingstone with that. Swatted out through the onside, but stopped at mid-wicket inside the circle. And there's no run. And that completes the 10th over. So halfway stage, 105 for 3. Buttler has 47. Livingstone has 8. Change in the commentary box, I think. Oh no, I'm going to do one more, I think. One more. Buttler 47, Livingstone has 8 at the minute. They've got, I think, a sense of control from one end, but not from that Emerald stand end.
It's really important for the bowlers, you know, to stay calm under pressure. You know, it's not easy to stay calm when, you know, playing against the top quality batters, but you know, you control yourself, you know, say have a breather and then say, okay, I'm gonna nail this delivery. Whatever you want to bowl, you want to bowl a Yorker, you want to bowl a slow one, whatever, commit to that delivery and then bowl that delivery.
Because I mean, every team comes into a game with plans and ideas and what they'll do to certain batsmen, but I guess these got to evolve as the game goes on.
Yeah, you can make plan, but you have to execute those plans as well. It's really important.
Imad Wasim
Pace off.
And he's picked up 2 for 17. He's going to come and bowl his 3rd over. Buttler from the crease is chopping away through the offside, bouncing out to point for a single.
That'll be interesting now with Livingstone facing Imad. He's a clever bowler. He knows how to bowl and played against him quite a few times.
Left arm around the wicket, bowls. Livingstone goes back, plays it nicely off the back foot, just pushing into the offside, but for no run. Picked up inside the circle by Babar Azam.
Little bit there for the spinners, you know. We saw Imad bowling in a power play as well. It's not coming on the bat as the last wickets. So gripping a little bit, no massive turn, but gripping a little bit, I think.
And balls over the width this time to Livingstone. Cuts the ball into the offside again. The Pakistan captain is there to field. There's no run. Is he a big turner of the ball?
He'll never be a big turner of the ball. He can swing the ball back into the right-hander.
Comes bouncing back in, left arm around. Cut through the offside, only for a single by Livingstone. Or they come back for 2. Yeah, they're going to try and force a second. This could be tight if the throw's good. Well, he had to put on the afterburners a little bit there, Liam Livingstone. It looked like a tight second, but they've come back for it and they've made it. Livingstone moves to 10 and England to 108 for 3.
There's no way you can have 2 here.
No.
No chance.
Well, I kind of said straight away that should just for a single. But I was surprised he managed to come
barrier.
back.
He was using long barrier. You can't use long barrier in a T20 game.
Livingstone into double figures. 108 for 3. We're in the 11th. Goes back and works it off his pads through the onside. Little tickle away through mid-wicket. Ball bouncing along the ground.
So far, good over from Imad. You know, he's not bowling in the arc. You know, he's bowling it slightly shorter, slightly wider. He knows these 2 players, you know, they are very dangerous. If you bowl well here, finish the over well here.
It's been a good one so far. Final ball of it. And Buttler squirts it down towards long leg for a single. And it nicks the strike as well. He's edging towards the half 50, 49 to Buttler. Livingstone has 11. 110 for 3, 11 overs gone. Azam, Mahmood, a few words from you, and then it will be Henry Moran.
Brilliant start from England, 110 after 11 overs. Pakistan are not good in the field. A lot of misfields we saw. But they take 3 wickets, which is crucial, if they can get another wicket. Tom Curran is batting at number 7, so which is good for Pakistan.
Feels like this partnership is a massive one for England.
Yes, definitely, and they've been playing really well, especially Buttler. He's been self-isolation and coming back and playing like this. Like he was having net inside.
Yeah, and the sort of power that I suppose they can add if they're there after 16, 17.
Definitely, if that's what, like Pakistan got 233 runs in the last game, but you hardly see, the different kind of shots, scoop, reverse sweep, and all these things. But England has so many players.
Here comes Shadab bowling to Buttler, happy to clip the ball off his toes up towards wide, long on for 1 to bring Livingstone onto strike. And with that, Jos Buttler reaches 50. It comes from 33 balls. England 111 for 3. We're into the 12th over. Buttler, captain today, raises his bat around.
Great knock.
14th T20 50 in his 81st T20 international.
We saw some great shot, like a timing, touch and class from Buttler.
It's not all been the brutal slogging at all.
Just like some good cricketing shots.
Can't bowling to Livingstone. Well, that is a little bit more of a slog, but it's a slog that brings 4 runs. Walloped down the ground. And no chance, despite the fielders at long off and long on being not too far away from it. Livingstone gives it everything. And England 115 for 3.
The last over, Imad bowled away from his arc. This was in the arc, like he's going to go hard at the bowler.
Livingstone sees one well outside the off stump, leaves it alone, and it'll look towards umpire Saggers, who stretches the arms out. And wide is signalled. 116 for 3. The Western Terrace to our right, packed full. Supporters enjoying the sunshine, enjoying the cricket. There's not a huge amount of shade at this venue, particularly not there. Once again, very wide. Once again, 1 more onto the total. Shadab is looking to try and spear it towards that wide Yorker kind of length, but he's not getting it right.
They just changed the fielder as well from covers to extra cover.
Leaving it alone again is Livingstone, looking up at the umpire, saying, well, hold on, what about that? But that's inside the tram lines, and so illegal delivery.
Staying away from that arc.
You can understand why, in fairness. Livingstone tries to create a little bit of space, and by stepping away to the offside, Shadab follows him, but again it's wide. 118 for 3. Shadab looking to try and get it right. Crowd getting a little bit more into it now as a reverse sweep is nicely played, but finds the fielder. And it's a good throw that is effective enough to see the keeper whip the bails off, but I think Buttler's home. Had he left that alone, I fancy that would probably have been signalled wide as well.
That was Strongan as well, so he said enough and enough. I'm gonna go the other way, looking for the reverse sweep. Good stop in the end by Imad Wasim.
119 for 3. We've got 2 balls left of the 12th over. England going at over 10 and looking set for a big score, but much rests on this partnership. Shadab into Buttler, working the ball away wristily into the leg side. Azam Khan will collect, running round from fine leg. 120 for 3. We've got a ball left of the 12th.
Crucial ball. Is he going to go for a reverse swing again? Reverse sweep again?
Livingstone on strike. He's in position, cutting the ball hard, front of square, but there is protection. That man, deep extra cover. So Livingstone will keep the strike. 12 overs gone, 121 for 3. Livingstone has 17, Buttler 51, and 51 from 34 deliveries. Test match special on 5 Live Sports Extra. We've got the live text commentary on the BBC Sport website and app. On BBC One, you can watch this game live with Isha Guar and the team, Michael Vaughan, Jimmy Anderson, Highlights will be available, in-play clips as well. Jack Skelton's at the helm on the live text. You can follow it all with BBC Cricket, and it all builds up in terms of our content this week with the start of the 100. 18 matches live on BBC television, including the first couple. Wednesday night at the Oval.
Oh, you're doing that game, huh?
I'll be there as well. Yeah, looking forward to it. And you're part of the Oval Invincibles setup as well.
Yes, I'm the bowling coach.
Start of a new over sees Livingstone coming down the track and hitting the ball a mile. It's gone out of the ground. A huge smile on his face, and the crowd signalled 6. I don't think anyone needs telling. It has gone some distance. 127 for 3.
What a shot that was. Coming down the wicket, it was slightly slower ball from Imad Wasim, not the quicker one, but Livingstone hit him miles. It's gone out of the stadium?
I think it has. We're seeing a replay now, and out of the ground. And there's 2 tiers to clear. That's not a small stand.
What a shot. He's a clean striker of the cricket ball. Strong lad.
Someone on St Michael's Lane has got a souvenir this afternoon.
Yes, might be.
So yeah, you're part of the Oval Invincibles setup. You looking forward to it?
Yeah, looking forward to it. New format, and got good side. A lot of good bowlers. Tom Curran, Saqib Mahmood, Sam Curran, Tropley, Sunil Narayan. So looking forward to working with these guys.
Imad Wasim to bowl to Livingstone, who's on 23. Goes along the ground up towards Shaheen Afridi at long on and takes 128 for 3. It all starts on Wednesday night. Manchester Originals visiting the Oval Invincibles. First match is between those two sides, a women's game, and then same fixture in the men's side of the tournament on Thursday. Both available on BBC Two, on air at 6 o'clock ahead of a 6:30 start. 128 for 3. Imad bowling to Buttler, who very content just to nudge the ball into the leg side, into space, pushes for the second, and it's brilliant running.
Great placement as well, just he knows where the fielders are, and good running between the wicket. I was thinking, today is hot weather, and you can see a lot of dry strip around the pitch. You might get reverse swing, but the ball went outside, and I saw Babar was complaining about the near ball.
Imad Wasim to bowl to Jos Buttler. Plays it back defensively. Well, the ball had to be replaced once it was out of the ground. They weren't getting it back. I mean, that's one way as a batter, I suppose, to negate that particular issue.
Yeah, hit out of the ground.
Get rid of it. Down the pitch comes Buttler, looking again to go big into the offside. Doesn't get much on it, and it just drops at the feet of the keeper. 1 ball left of the 13th over. England at 130 for 3. Well, this is a ground, as of the Roses game in the championship this week, had all sorts of problems with a lot of heavy rain, and then even when the rain had stopped, they weren't able to continue, as Wasim is in, drops it horribly short, and Buttler punishes it away over the offside for 6. Oh, don't bowl there. Whatever you do not bowl there. 136 for 3 after 13.
What a shot that was. It's not easy to play that through extra cover. What a shot that was on a back foot, hitting on extra cover. Quicker one. Sit in the pitch a little bit. Oh, what a shot that was.
And dropped by a gentleman in a wide-brimmed hat in the crowd. Azam Mahmood, thank you very much for the time being. Well, Pakistan all-rounder, part of our team and part of the BBC television team as well today. As I mentioned, you can watch the coverage live now on BBC One. And England have a 50-run partnership of just 35 balls. Livingstone's got 24 of those runs. Butler's on 59. England 136 for 3. As Alex Hartley returns alongside me. All plugged in? All set?
Complicated, that, isn't it?
It is a little bit. Do you know what's not complicated? Taking your shoes away when you finished a commentary stint.
Yeah, he's a big deal, that guy, and he's just had to smell my feet because I left my shoes under the desk.
Azam Mahmood?
Yeah.
He was looking down rather quizzically. I have to be honest. I didn't know what to say, really.
Yeah, she's a tramp. She left her shoes.
136 for 3 is a score. Hasnaid is going to bowl from the far end of the ground with Livingstone on strike, Hasnain waiting and bowling, and now seeing Livingstone hit the ball firmly in front of square, but there is protection out there in the deep, and there won't be the boundary he was craving. But we're starting to see signs that Livingstone is in that sort of mood again, Alex.
It's good to watch when he's like this. He hits the ball so hard. I mean, he's hit that one that hard. The fielder's had to sort of goalkeeper stop it rather than picking it clean up in his hands.
Yeah, it was just one just to take the pace off it, and then the next one to pick it up. But Fakhar Zaman out there, deep backwards square. Right, Buttler will be on strike on 59. Hasnain has been a little more expensive today than he was at Trent Bridge. He's already conceded 26 runs, and he's charging in towards us. Buttler on strike, it's in the air, straight to the hands of the fielder. Buttler goes. It's taken by the captain, Babar Azam, at mid-off. It was travelling, and it would have stung the hands of Pakistan skipper. But Buttler goes, 137 for 4.
Yeah, Babar Azam there, just looking at his hands, thinking, oh, that one hurt. Buttler, it was wide, it was outside the off stump, it was there for him to hit. He's gone to smoke it over extra cover. But instead, Babar Azam is sat on the ring and it's gone straight to him. A brilliant innings from Josh Buttler, but you almost think he's left a few out there.
Feels a little that way. And you could see his reaction. He turned on his heel immediately. Looks frustrated. He's shaking his head as he pulls his gloves off and strides over the boundary in front of us. And to the middle comes Jonny Bairstow. That is the thing about this England lineup, Alex. You've got a man coming in at 6 who opens the batting when he plays franchise cricket around the world to ludicrous effect, particularly for Sunrisers Hyderabad in the IPL alongside David Warner. And often when he's not picked for England, you see messages on social media from people that only perhaps see him playing in these franchise leagues thinking, what on earth are you doing putting Jonny Bairstow at 6?
And it's the same with Sam Curran, isn't it?
Yeah.
He opens the batting for Chennai Super Kings and he's down at 7. So England's batting lineup is destructive, it's powerful, and it's something to talk about because they're just never ending. You lose a wicket, another opening batter comes in, you lose another wicket, somebody else who hits the ball just as hard comes in.
What I enjoyed about that is that Babar Azam took a few steps backwards as the ball was coming towards him in the hope of taking a few miles an hour off the ball on its progress towards him. Right then, Bairstow on strike, will look for a single initially and gets there quickly enough. That's good running. Liam Livingstone at the non-striker's end set off quickly. Now Bairstow's up and running. 138 for 4. Butler's gone in this over for 59. We've got 3 balls left of the 14th. Still to come for England: Curran, Jordan, Rashid, Mahmood and Parkinson. It's a longer tail than England would perhaps like, but they are looking and trying to work out their options. I can't think of another time 2 genuine frontline leg spinners are played in a T20 for England, but Rashid and Parkinson given that opportunity today.
It's exciting as well for Parkinson to learn off Rashid.
Hasnain bowling to Livingstone, advancing, clipping the ball up to wide, long on for 1. And England move to 139 for 4. And it is all about the learning at this stage for England.
It's because Rashid can't play forever. You know, he's a world-class bowler, a very talented bowler, but you have to bring through the next generation of cricketer at some stage. So England have half an eye on that, and they're playing Rashid and Parkinson together, and 2 very different bowlers. Parkinson very young in his career and doesn't often bowl his googly or doesn't bowl quick into the pitch, but still good to learn off somebody like Rashid.
139 for 4. As Bairstow is cutting the ball, it's going to run towards the boundary and it's going to be 4. It was behind square, it wasn't far from the fielder at deep third, Imad Wasim, but he couldn't get there. And Bairstow gets the first boundary. England 143 for 4.
And that's the thing about this batting lineup, isn't it? Bairstow's new to the crease, and yes, he opens the batting in the IPL and one-day cricket, so he's straight onto the bad ball, hits it for 4, doesn't need to play himself in.
It's a bit like a video game where you beat one boss and then there's another waiting round the... Do you know what I mean? Sort of like Super Mario. 143 for 4. Bairstow on strike is helping the ball round the corner and he's going to get 4. It was short, hostile. It's been signalled a no ball. Was that on the full? I think it must have been. But it's been signalled no ball and Bairstow's got 4 as well. So it'll be a free hit to add to the trauma for Hasnain. 148 for 4. Yeah, it was a beamer. Oh, it was a filthy ball.
Filthy ball, and well played by Jonny Bairstow, just hooking it around the corner. Up and over short, fine leg.
Free hit. Have you ever bowled a no ball with a free hit punishment?
Yes, in a warm-up game.
Imagine it's horrible. Here comes Hasnain. Free hit for Jonny Bairstow. Winds up, and as so often, gives it 110% and gets from it very little. A couple of runs into the leg side, but that's only a couple because he mistimed it so horribly it dropped into vacant space. End of the over, 150s up for England. 14 overs gone. Livingstone's got 26. Bairstow has 11. So what do you do when you're bowling a free hit delivery?
Hope for the best. Quite often you see a free hit delivery and like you said, batters just swing as hard as they can, and you very rarely see a free hit go the absolute distance. Quite often in female cricket especially, it's always a 1 or a 2 because they've swung so hard. But you just have to bowl your best ball. Back yourself to bowl your best ball. It happens, people do bowl beamers, they do bowl front foot no balls, although I remember when I did bowl my 2 front foot no balls, they were saying you're a spinner. That is not acceptable.
I think it's more understandable for a seam bowler.
Yeah. But I just lost my run up a little bit, so it happens.
Better in a warm up than a World Cup final. Shadab Khan is going to bowl this, the 15th over. And took 3 wickets in the first T20. Yet to get any in this game. And England, with Liam Livingstone and Jonny Bairstow, are a very dangerous unit. Pakistan will be very aware of the damage that could be done. Shadab in to bowl to Livingstone. He looks to cut but misses. It goes through to the keeper. Dot ball to start the over. We've got fielders out at long on, long off, deep cover. There's a deep mid wicket and a deep square leg as well. Livingstone on 26. Shadab moving into bowl to him. Deep in the crease once more, looking for that gap through the offside. And a good tumbling stop from Azam Khan at backward point. 151 for 4.
What I like about that shot from Liam Livingstone, all the fielders are in front of square on the boundary, nobody in the ring in front of square, so he's trying to manipulate the field and get the ball past backward point. A brilliant piece of fielding, good diving stop.
Azam Khan, he's not the fleetest of foot.
You could say that.
He's quite a sort of size, and he did well diving to his right. Shadab is bowling to Bairstow, deep in the crease, looking for 2. I think they'll only be the 1, but Livingstone calls for that second, runs well, and they'll get there. Really good running. This has been an impressive part of Liam Livingstone's game over the last couple of games. It's not just about the 6s that'll make the highlights reel, but he's really putting the pressure on the fielding side as well. 153 for 4.
A team player as well, because he's running that too hard for his mate at the other end. He's running to the danger end. He knows he can get there. It would be so easy for Liam Livingstone just to go through for the single.
Midway through the 15th over, Bairstow on strike, swinging violently, missing.
Looking for the boundary.
Yeah, I think that wasn't looking for the quick single.
Just a bit of turn in the surface.
Bairstow, this time it goes very aerial. Has it got the legs? I don't think so. Fielder underneath it, takes the catch. A roar around Headingley. And Bairstow departs. It was up there a long time as it flew towards mid-off. But Jonny Bairstow has to go. It was a brief cameo. 13 from him. And England 153 for 5.
He knew Jonny Bairstow. As soon as that ball went up in the air, his head dropped. He smashed his bat on the floor. Not what England needed, because in comes Tom Curran now. Jonny Bairstow looked in good touch, but probably played 1 shot too many there, just going for the big heave. Straight to the fielder at deep mid-off.
Fakhar Zaman takes the catch at long off. Safe pair of hands, because it was up there a while. And there was just a little bit of pressure, because someone like Bairstow, he gets a life, he could go on and do some serious damage. Tom Curran playing his 31st T20 international. He's got an average of just 11, but I think there is the important caveat of the destruction he has caused playing for the Sydney Sixers in the Big Bash League. He is a player that scores a lot of runs in franchise cricket, so we are by no means looking at an England side where you're down to the bowlers.
No, not at all. I think his batting's come on so much in the last couple of years. So he'll be confident, he'll back himself. But these two do really need to bat together for a little bit of time here. Because England, although their run rate is 10s, they are sort of getting into their tail.
Yeah, 153 for 5. Final ball of the 15th over. Flies off an outside edge as Livingstone drives hard out towards deep cover. And a single taken to keep the strike with Liam Livingstone, who has 28, 154 for 5. 15 overs gone in the sunshine at Headingley. England are in a good place runs-wise, less so in terms of the wickets column. They've been good starts, good contributions. Buttler's 59, Moeen Ali 36 from just 16, Liam Livingstone 28 from 20 as the man not out. But they'll be very aware of the challenges that might face those coming in to continue that momentum.
Yeah, it has looked quite tough to get started. We've now just seen some turn in the pitch from the leg spinner, which is exciting for England, with Adil, Rashid and Matt Parkinson bowling together for these two sides.
Indeed, I'm going to get out of the way, and Scott Reed's going to take up commentary. I might just do this first delivery, as we don't want to be caught in no man's land, and you're not looking in the mood for commentary today, Alex.
I was panicking then.
There are some days I can tell you're up for it. Today, not so. Harris Ralph bowling to Livingstone, who's launched a ball down the ground, and he has launched it, I think, out of the football ground.
Oh my word.
I think it's cleared that 3-deck stand at the far end of the ground.
Liam Livingstone has just hit a ball straight out of Headingley. I have never seen something go so far.
I can't believe I've seen that. It's gone out of the ground.
Oh my word. What a shot from Liam Livingstone.
It is a remarkable hit. That's gone some distance. I hope Leeds Rhinos aren't training on that ground, because that has sailed into the rugby ground. Goodness. Right, England 160 for 5. Sum up that shot, Alex, if you can. Scott Reed's coming in.
I mean, he's just hit a ball over the emerald stand. Like, he's hit that far. It was in the slot, but it was just a big heave from Liam Livingstone. A big smile on his face. I'm not sure he's hit a ball that far before. We've seen him with some mighty blows in the past at Emirates Old Trafford, Scott, but that was something else.
That's extraordinary, wasn't it? Blimey. I mean, he didn't just kind of clear it. He cleared it by a mile.
I cannot believe what I've just seen.
Blimey, that is one big hit, isn't it, from Liam Livingstone? I've watched a lot of T20 games here at Headingley over the years. I don't think I've ever seen anyone hit the ball that far. That is one big bash, wasn't it? Blimey. I think he's seen it quite well, isn't he? 34 not out, Liam Livingstone. 160 for 5. We've got a ball from somewhere. And Livingstone's going to hit it over the top of mid-off this time. Loads of bottom hand on that, scooping up and over mid-off. And gets 4 more, not quite as full-hearted as the previous one, but got plenty on it again. Low full toss in the end. He smoked it over the hands and mid-off. And moves on to 38.
Just for a moment, Liam Livingstone's heart might have been in his mouth.
A little bit, yeah. It was just an inch or two high of the fielder and over the top of the fingertips. 164 for 5. Oh, he's in position to kind of ramp it or scoop it. In the end, he's no idea where the ball's going, and he could be run out here. Well, he's put the full dive in. All sorts happening then. He was in position to try and ramp the shot, didn't quite get it right, and then there was hesitation. I think Livingstone thinks he's gone. Throw towards the bowler's end, and even with a full length dive,
Director, we've got an umpire review for a run out. It's a fair delivery. Can I see your best side on angle, please?
To David Milnes here. Throw is wide of the stumps, isn't it? Bowler takes it. Well, this is going to be close.
Okay, there's one bail off. There's still one bail. I want you to go back. Come forward, please. I want you to freeze it when that second bail lights up.
Ooh.
Second bail lights up. I want you to freeze it, please.
I mean, this is close, isn't it? We're looking at a couple of centimetres here.
First bail is off. It's okay. There's still one bail on.
Oh, I think he's hit it with his leg as he
therefore it's
first.
still fair to break.
Yeah.
He's knocked the first bail off with his leg.
Yeah,
and then as he goes to knock the second bail off.
Second. There you go. Thank you very much.
I think he's out.
Ready with my decision for the big screen.
So
my decision is out. Repeat, out.
So Liam Livingstone saw that originally on the big screen, turned and walked back, thinking that would be given not out because the fact that the bowler's leg caught the stump and dislodged the bail. But as we could hear there from the TV umpire, because only one bail had been dislodged, not two.
Yeah, so old rules are if one bail comes off, you have to take the stump out of the ground. But the rules have changed. If there's still one bail left on, you can take the next bail off. I mean, he's lucky there, is Ralph, because
Yes, he is, yeah.
he's hit the stumps with his leg. I mean, Liam Livingstone, he won't be happy with that, but he said to the umpire, fair enough.
Pick up and throw from Azam Khan. And Harris Ralph, the bowler, taking it, but then with his right knee, I think, just hitting one of the stumps. But because only one bail was dislodged, he was then able to reach around. He's taken it with the ball past the stumps, and then with his right hand, he reaches around his back and then hits the stumps to dislodge the bail that was in place. And that's left Liam Livingstone a centimetre or two short. And Livingstone departs. Well, that's a big breakthrough for Pakistan, because Livingstone, on the back of what he did on Friday evening at Trent Bridge, and also the fact he's just absolutely smashed one over the stand, he's clearly in good form. But he's gone for 38 off 23. So 164 for 6. Curran's on strike. And he steers it down towards third man for a single. And he gets himself a run straight away. 165 for 6. It was just a little unusual, that, Alex, was it? Because Livingstone originally saw that the bail had been dislodged before the ball struck it, and he went back thinking he was safe.
Yeah, he went back thinking he was safe. He took his guard. He was ready to go again. But the rules changed. I don't know how long ago they changed. It might have been a couple of years ago. It might have been recently. But you can dislodge the second bail if it's still on the stumps, and it was. Indeed.
So Livingstone departs. 165 for 6. We're in the 16th. 2 balls left of it. Been busy. Ralph in and bowling to Chris Jordan, the new batter. Little clip away into the onside, just off his pads, but to mid-wicket, and there's no run. What are we thinking here then? 165 for 6. Jordan, and then it's Rashid, Mahmood and Parkinson. There's not, I mean, Rashid can hit it, can't he? He's okay. There's not Saqib, Mahmood and Matt Parkinson, I don't think it's their strongest suit.
No, you don't want Saqib and Parkinson to bat, really, do you? We've seen them quite a lot at Emirates Old Trafford.
Jordan waiting. Ralph in and bowling. That's pushed back towards the ball, just underneath his left hand. He was stretching low down to his left to try and stop it. It went underneath his fingertips. But extra cover came around to complete the fielding. So it's the end of the 16th over. Quite an eventful one. 165 for 6. It started with the ball being sent somewhere kind of north of Bradford, and it ends with a run out. Good fun.
I'm not over that shot. I mean, I've just tweeted it. If anyone wants to look at it, it will be all over the internet. Liam Livingstone hit one over the Emerald stand by a distance as well. I mean, I'm pretty gutted he's out, really, because he's just started striking it.
Yeah. That was a monster hit. But it ended well for Pakistan. It started rather badly. It started with a bit of a bruising hit for 6, which has left this particular postcode, and it ends with a run out. Shaheen Afridi comes back into the attack. 4 overs to go. 165 for 6. Tom Curran and Chris Jordan, 2 batsmen for England. Curran on strike. Here's Afridi left arm over the wicket, bowling to Curran. He wants a run there, just pushing it back down the pitch. And Shaheen unable to pick the ball up off his own bowling, so Tom Curran does get through for a single, so he doubles his total, moves to 1. Brings Chris Jordan on strike. Pakistan have got themselves a deep square leg, long on, deep point, and there's third and fine leg fielders in front of that 3-tiered stand on the far side of Headingley, as we commentate from the 5th floor of the pavilion at the Kirkstall Lane end. Is Shaheen Afridi, left arm over, just bowling back of a length. And it's dragged away by Chris Jordan behind square on the leg side for a single. Moves to 167 for 6. Jordan and Curran, quite obviously relatively early, but not quite got the timing just yet, have they?
No, not quite, but they've only been in there for 5 balls between them. I think England will be targeting 200 absolute minimum. They lose 1 wicket here, though. They do have the potential to be bowled out for 180, 190, but these two can keep the run rate up. You want to accelerate going into the last 2 or 3 overs, and that's exactly what England will be looking to do. Tom Curran, no rabbit with the bat?
Absolutely not, no. He's got a good T20 record, hasn't he? Not just in this country, in the Blast, or indeed internationally, but around the different franchise cricket he's played. He's on strike. Extra fielder position on the leg side boundary now. Shaheen bowling. That's muscled away by Curran through the onside. And well cut off. Tumbling stop, wide long on. They'll come back for 2. Slightly frantic second. Good work down on the wide long on boundary to prevent a boundary 4.
Yeah, brilliant piece of fielding. Off the bat, I thought it was 4.
Yeah, me too.
But a diving stop to the right-hand side of the mid-on fielder.
Takes a little breather as Shaheen comes back in and bowls to Curran. That's deflected, I think, off the pad. It squirted out into the onside. The bowler, having spun round Shaheen Afridi to appeal, then realised he quickly had to go and try and field it because all the fielders on the leg side were out on the boundary rope, miles away from it. So his appeal quickly died. And they'll come back for 2. I think he's given it as leg buys. He has. There's no bat on it.
He needed to give it to Stuart Broad and run off an appeal while fielding, but field the ball at the same time.
That would have been terrific, yeah. Still yelping with one arm aloft as he scoops the ball up from the edge of the 30-metre circle.
But it was very much not out. Going down the leg-hand side. Leg-hand side? Leg side. I say leg-hand side so much more than I should do. I've said it about 5 times on commentary recently.
Well, out on that leg-hand side, there's a deep square leg, deep mid-wicket, long on. This is worked away towards long on for a single by Curran. Again, he kind of cloths it, really. Doesn't really time it properly, but he gets 1 for it. Moves to 5, 172 for 6.
I think we could make it stick, you know.
Yeah, I don't see why not.
Yeah.
I'm all for innovation and making up completely new phrases to describe things. Why not? You're the queen of it.
Yeah, so on the leg-hand side, we've got short fine. Deep square, mid-wicket, long on, and a deep cover.
Indeed. What have we got now? Jordan on strike. 1 ball left of the 17th. Left arm over the wicket. Oh, taken off the pads. Oh, that's an outrageous shot. Oh, it's gone for 6. Behind square on the leg side. He just kind of flicked it off his pads. Slightly off bent knee. And then flicks it to backward square leg for 6. It's gone quite flat into the Western Terrace. That's a ridiculous shot from Chris Jordan. 178 for 6 at the end of the 17th.
A brilliant shot for that from Chris Jordan. He's gone deep in his crease to put off the bowler. He's gone straight back into his crease as deep as he possibly can. And just a little flick of the wrist, but he's timed it. It's come out the middle of the bat. And it's flown over the boundary for 6 runs. We've seen some outrageous cricket shots today.
Yeah, that was great fun. And how he's got it to backward square leg with a little flick of the wrist for 6, I'm not quite sure, but Jordan moves to 7 with it. Hasnain comes back into the attack. This will be his 4th and final over. 2 for 39. 3 overs left for England. 178 for 6. Tom Curran resting the bat on his right shoulder, looking leg side. It's a big blowout towards that boundary. Hasnain in and bowls. He swats it out through the onside. Uppishly, 1 bounce, 4 runs. Just in front of square. It was a bit of a hoik, really, wasn't it, from Curran, but he's got 4 for it. He moves up to 9, and England to 182 for 6.
I think that's the beauty of T20 cricket. You don't have to play classic cricket shots. Tom Curran there just striking the ball into the leg side. The leg hand side, should we say?
Yes, get it right, yeah.
But England again showing why they're the best white ball team in the world.
The beauty about it, we might see a bit of this when Babar Azam comes out and bats later on, as name bowls to Curran. This is slashed away through the offside. He's gone up, he's gone out towards point, he's taken. Curran goes for 9. England lose their 7th. And Hasnain picks up another wicket for Pakistan. Curran departs, caught out at deep point. 182 for 6.
Yeah, Curran again just going for the big heave. It looks like he was trying to go straight, but he's played inside out on that cricket shot. And it's gone out to deep point. Curran will be frustrated, but I don't blame him. He had to go. He had to be the one to be busy, to look for the boundary. It brings in Adil Rashid.
Indeed. Maqsood with a catch coming in from that point boundary. Curran trying to hit out. Sent one over the onside, scooped one out through the offside. It was the latter that saw the end of Tom Curran. Good cheer for Adil Rashid. And his home ground, of course. Plenty of Rashid supporters inside the ground. Looking forward to watching him bowl later as well. England have got 2 leg spinners in their team. Adil Rashid and Matt Parkinson. 3 for 43 for Hasnain, who's into Jordan. It's a wide ball. Just cuts the ball down towards third man. It should be scooped up. It is. They'll come back for a second. And Jordan moves up to 9. And England to 184 for 7. With 3 balls left of the 18th over. Just Saqib, Mahmood and Matt Parkinson next for England. Josh Buttler's 59 off 39, the top scorer in the match so far. Moeen Ali 36 off 16, Liam Livingstone 38 off 23. Can England end with a flurry, or can Pakistan kind of rattle through it and even potentially bowl England out here? Halfway into the 18th, Jordan just flicking around with the pads and getting himself settled back into his crease. Hasnain comes in and bowls to Jordan. Hit through the offside for 4. Clubbed it away, really. He's bowled it pretty full, Hasnain, but perhaps just over-pitched it a little bit. Nailed it, didn't he, Jordan? Smacked it away to extra cover for 4. He moves to 13, 188 for 7.
Yeah, I don't know if he was going for his Yorker plan there. His field would suggest he's not, but he's just bowled the ball into the slot. Chris Jordan able to whack that into the offside. Forced to change the field as well. Extra cover's been pushed back out towards the rope. Long on comes in. Long off comes in. There's a long on, deep mid-wicket and a deep square leg, and this is pulled. A great deal of timing out through the onside. It loops up out towards mid-wicket. Jordan gets a single. Takes him on to 14. And England to 189 for 7. 1 ball left of the 18th over. And Adil Rashid on strike for the first time, taking guard. Hasnain to complete his 4-over spell. 3 for 50, his figures. He's got wickets, but it's never nice to bring up your half-century in a T20 when you're bowling.
Can be a bit brutal for bowlers, can't it? Hasnain to Rashid. Just nudged it off his hip for a single. Out towards deep square leg, so he's nicked the strike, actually. He's off the mark with that. And that's the end of Hasnain. 4 overs, 3 for 51. So 2 overs remain, 190 for 7. So 200 is definitely on here, but England will want something decent way north of it, I think, Alex.
Yeah, definitely. Take advantage of these last 2 overs while they can. I think Chris Jordan's the one that needs to have most of the strikes. Rashid's job here is just to get Chris Jordan on strike. And Chris Jordan can do his best to muscle the ball to the boundary.
Yeah, get a little single here, Rashid. Get Jordan on where all the fireworks are. Harris Rouse comes back into the attack, but from the Kirkstall lane end, he's gone for 45 as well, wicketless. I mean, to be fair, on what looks like a belting pitch, on a glorious sunny day, it's a day for batting, isn't it, really? It
is a day for batting. Although I'm excited to see the 2 leg spinners bowl on it, because we did see a little bit of grip in the surface.
I see Parkinson and Rashid. I see Rashid in the power play, Bart. Here's Ralph bowling to Adil Rashid, just pushing out towards backward point, but for no run.
Adil Rashid just looking for that quick single, trying to knock the ball on its head and drop the ball into the offside. But he actually got too much on it and ran the ball to backward point. I think if Pakistan are trying to do anything here, I think they should bring their cover up and try and get another dot. Keep Rashid on strike.
a short fine, deep third, deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, deep point. Oh, Rashid's got off strike. He's got across his stumps and squirted the ball somehow past his leg stump down towards short fine leg. It's a slightly unorthodox shot, but he's off strike. He's got to run. Jordan's on strike. That's the key thing. 191 for 7.
We often get told as tail ends, I say we, as a tail ender myself, doesn't have to look pretty as long as you do your job. And that's the only way I can describe that from Rashid. Didn't look pretty, but he's at the non-striker's end.
Yeah, job done. Leans on his bat with his left hand on his hip, waiting for Ralph to come in and bowl. It's a full toss, and Jordan swats it out through the onside. He might go here. He does go here. Caught out at deep mid-wicket. Jordan looking to hit out, looking for boundaries at the back end of the innings. He's gone for 14. England have lost their 8th. 191 for 8.
A full toss that to Chris Jordan. He could have hit that anywhere, and he decided to hit it straight down deep mid-wicket's throat. A decent catch. Put a little bit of mayonnaise on. There was no need for that dive there. But I like that. Speckies only. Spectacular catches only. But it brings in Saqib Mahmood, who was probably hoping not to have his pads on today.
Shadab with a good catch, even with a little extra mayonnaise, as you described it. He liked that in front of the Western Terrace, didn't he?
He did, and his Pakistani fans loved it as well. He stood up and he got a big cheer from the Western Terrace.
Leaping to his right, both feet off the ground. A little extra bit of mayonnaise, as Alex described it, as he went tumbling around, and then up and celebrating in front of the Western Terrace, who are up in full force. Plenty of green Pakistan shirts out towards our right-hand side. Saqib Mahmood then to join Adil Rashid. 191 for 8. Do Pakistan start to think here actually of keeping England below 200 now? There's just 2 wickets in hand. You're thinking beyond the realms of possibility, that isn't it?
No, 2 quick wickets. It's definitely into the tail of England. Rashid batting at 9, Mahmood 10, Parkinson 11.
Here's Ralph over the wicket, bowls. Bowled Rashid. I think he stood effectively on off stump with his guard there. Rashid, he's so far across. And Ralph, I think, has thought, well, if you're going to stand there, I'm going to spear it in towards the leg stump. He's gone. England are 9 down, 191 for 9.
I knew that was coming. I nearly said it. He was just going to go Yorker plan. Rashid set himself up probably 2 stumps outside the off stump. And he's gone even further across outside the off stump, trying to give himself that room to work the ball into the leg side, but he's gone too far. Gone for his Yorker plan, and he's hit middle and off on the full.
Quite clever ball in that, isn't he? You could see he could kind of read Rashid's mind as to what he was going to do, or try to do.
I think Rashid made it too obvious to what he was going to do. I think if you're going to step outside the off stump and give yourself room, maybe start in line with middle and off and then step outside the line. But he started outside off, he went even further, and he exposed all his stumps, and it's not hard then to hit them.
Falling straight, yeah, you miss, I hit. So it's 2 in 2, isn't it? Hat-trick ball, this.
Oh, I feel for Matt Parkinson here. Fellow number 11.
There'll be a few nerves in the belly of Matt Parkinson.
I'm nervous for him. I feel a bit sick.
Hat-trick ball for Harris Ralph on the Kirkstall lane end. Parkinson to face it. No worries. Parkinson pushing away through extra cover and off the mark with a single.
Parkinson wanted 2.
Well, the 2 Lancashire players, Saqib Mahmood and Matt Parkinson, don't often get greeted with cheers when they play at Headingley, Parkinson and Mahmood. But there'll be plenty of cheers for them if they take wickets a little bit later on. Final ball this of the 19th over. Been a good one, hasn't it, for Harris Ralph? Really impressive. Gone for 45 before this over. He's picked up 2 wickets in it. It's fallen straight and clipped by Saqib Mahmood to deep square leg for a single. He's off the mark. He keeps the strike with 1 over to go. I think just 3 runs off that and 2 wickets. That's a terrific over.
Terrific over at the death. Picking up the wicket of Chris Jordan with the full toss. Jordan will be... he'll be fuming with himself. You know, he could have hit it anywhere. And he's picked out the fielder in the deep. We've got massive boundaries here at Headingley. But still, Chris Jordan would normally back himself there to clear the rope off a full toss.
Always tends to be the case, isn't it? When you get a full toss and you can hit it anywhere, you tend to pick out the fielder.
Well, nice of you to say that, Scott, because it brings in my stat that I think is a stat, but it's been proved not. But 33.3% of full tosses get wickets.
33.3% of full tosses get wickets.
And I stand by it because I often see wickets from full tosses.
What, off your own bowling, or?
Yeah, well, when I bowl it, it goes into the stand. I'm the other 70-odd% or whatever it is.
So is there any evidence as Shaheen starts the final over and bowls to Mahmood, and that's a little flick off the hip out towards square leg? He's gone hurtling through for one, but have to be just a single. 194 for 9. Is there any evidence to back this up, or is this just an Alex Hartley invented stat?
No, it is. When I played cricket for England back in the day, one of our meetings, so women's cricket, 33% of balls in women's cricket get wickets.
Yeah.
Therefore, we asked Andy Zaltzman to check that out, because it was the England analysis that gave us that stat and said low full tosses, and he said it wasn't true. But I don't think they'd give us false information.
No. But are they then trying to actively encourage you to bowl the odd full toss? Parkinson's on strike as Shaheen Afridi comes in and bowls. That's deflected, I think, off his thigh pad. It's picked up by the keeper, Rizwan. Gone through for leg by, so 195 for 9. Parkinson remains on 1. Mahmood on 2. Is there a danger of that? You thought, well...
No, it's for when you're going at the death and you go in your Yorker plan. You'd rather bowl a full toss than get it wrong and bowl in the slot. So you'd rather go fuller than bowl in the slot, because you're more likely to get a wicket with that fuller delivery.
Shaheen looking for his first wicket, left arm around the wicket. Mahmood gives himself a bit of room, slaps it to mid-off, not picked up cleanly. Scamper through for 1. Well, they're edging towards a 200 here, England. 3 balls left. They're 196 for 9. As Mahmood drilled it to mid-off for a single.
He hit that pretty hard for a tail ender, did Saqib Mahmood?
Gave himself a bit of room, didn't he? And slapped it to mid-off. He's had a wonderful few weeks, hasn't he?
From having a pint in the Hilton bar with him a couple of weeks ago to player of the series for England.
Extraordinary.
Overnight as well, things changed for him.
Talk about take your chance. Shaheen in and bowls. Parkinson skips to leg and then scoops it over backward points. I think he's got 4 for it. He has. Parkinson's hit a 4 for England in this T20 fixture to bring up the 200 as well. He moves to 5, 200 for 9.
Well played that from Matt Parkinson. Almost giving himself room, played in to out. Up and over point. There's 4 runs. I mean, it actually looked like a decent bit of fielding, but didn't quite get hold of it. And more importantly, Matt Parkinson brings up England's 200.
Has Nain got across the ground, but he got to it, but couldn't stop it reaching the rope. And Shaheen's in and bowling full and straight, and Parkinson's been bowled. And England are all out, but they got to 200. Parkinson and Mahmood had a bit of fun with the bat there. Parkinson out for 5. Shaheen Afridi with his first wicket. And with 1 ball left of their innings, England are all out for 200. He's actually just dragged it back onto his stumps, hasn't he, off a little bottom edge as he stepped to the leg side. And that little flick off the bottom edge of his back. And the ball crashes into the stumps. And England are 200 all out.
What an innings. Ups and downs. We had Jason Roy in the first over getting 10 and then getting out. And then we had a couple of wickets lost early on in the power play, and then England really took advantage, built that partnership, Moeen Ali, Josh Buttler. I mean, 200 in a T20 again.
But will it be enough, Alex? Your thoughts on that? And then Henry's coming in.
Well, you'd like to say yes, the way England play and the way things have gone, you'd like to say yes, but Pakistan the other day getting the massive score of 232 for 6. They weren't even all out, they're only 6 down. England were then all out for 201, so you would say normally 200's enough, but it's probably par.
There are 2 stats that I'm interested in here, Alex. The first I know the answer to, the second I don't. The first one is, what is Pakistan's record chasing? And that record is 205, but it was achieved earlier on this year against South Africa at Centurion. So they have form recently of big chases. The second stat I want to know the details of: has any side ever in consecutive T20s hit more than 200 and been all out on both occasions? The way England play is just amazing.
Oh, it is. They just play this brand of cricket that's so good to watch. You know, we often talk about that fear of failure, and England lost 2 wickets early in the power play. And you think, oh, well, they can just scrape their way to 150. But no, not this England side. They muscle the ball, and they just keep going.
Yeah, it's one of those where you could completely understand if England had dropped and carefully worked their way to 170 for 7, say, or something like that. They didn't. They kept going. They just kept on going. And 200 up, yes, they're all out, and yes, they left a couple of deliveries out there. But it's the way they play. It's how they want to approach cricket.
I mean, if you'd have said we're going to be 200 all out with 1 ball left to spare, at the start of the day, England would have snapped your hand off. You know, they'd have taken that.
Yeah, I think they probably wouldn't. The sun is just dipping behind some clouds now, so batting conditions won't necessarily be quite as easy. Right, let's go through this scorecard. Pakistan won the toss. Babar Azam choosing to field. Jason Roy, well, as he did the other night, got a quick start, 10 from 4. Including 1 massive 6, the second ball of the game, but he was out for 10. Mohammad Hafeez taking the catch off Imad Wasim. The next wicket to fall, Dawid Malan, who's had 4 low scores. By low scores, I mean either 1 or 0. He was out for 1, caught by Azam Khan off the bowling of Imad Wasim. Moeen Ali played nicely for his 36 from 16 deliveries, 6 fours, 1 6, but just when it looked like he might be set to go big, he was caught by Babar Azam off the bowling of Mohammad Hasnain. Then a good partnership between Jos Buttler and Liam Livingstone. Buttler out for 59. Babar Azam taking the catch off the bowling of Hasnain. And Jonny Bairstow was the next man to fall. He was in briefly, caught a couple of 4s, 13 from 7. Fakhar Zaman taking the catch off the bowling of Shadab Khan. Then a really significant moment in this game. Liam Livingstone, who was on 38, and the previous ball, the biggest 6 I've ever seen. I make no bones about it, and I know that the proximity to sort of recency can make you think that you've seen something that is greater than anything before it. I've never seen a bigger 6 hit in my life. It cleared the football stand.
It's genuinely, there are no words to describe how far that went, because it cleared the stand with ease.
Yeah, by a long way. And that is a stand that is not 2 decks, it's 3 decks. And there is another stand on the back of it overlooking the rugby pitch. Cleared that too. There'll be an indentation somewhere on the rugby pitch, and someone needs to find out how far that ball went.
They do, because my word, what a shot from Liam Livingstone. I'm still not over it. I keep watching it.
It's just exhausting, utterly exhausting watching that sort of cricket. And Liam Livingstone was out the ball later. Tom Curran and he getting in a bit of a muddle, and Livingstone having to depart for 38, run out by Azam Khan. Tom Curran then made 9 from 7 before he was caught by Sohaib Maqsood off the bowling of Hasnain for 9. As I say, Adil Rashid was bowled by Harris Ralph for 2, and Parkinson out for 5, bowled by Shaheen Shah Afridi. In terms of the bowling figures, 3 wickets for Hasnain for 51 runs from his 4 overs, a couple for Imad Wasim. Shaheen Shah Afridi just that final wicket, and Shadab Khan 4 overs, 1 for 33. The best bowling figures in terms of economy were that of Shaheen Afridi, who was going at 7.3 in an otherwise mind-blowing series of batting stats that have just sort of demolished any hope a bowler has of figures that will make them feel remotely happy with life. But it is that sort of series that we're having at the moment, Alex, and it has been just carnage with the bat.
I think that's a great way to describe it, isn't it? Carnage. The 200 seems par, but also we're seeing massive 6s, we're seeing glorious cover shots for 4, we're seeing the batters manipulating the field, the little ramp shots, the paddles. Honestly, we've seen it all, and we're technically halfway through these innings that we're going to see. We've got 1 more from Pakistan, and then obviously the next game.
Indeed, on Tuesday night at Old Trafford, you'll be able to hear all of it on 5 Live Sports Extra, and highlights as well on BBC 2 before the 100 gets underway on Wednesday, with Alex, you playing for the Manchester Originals against the Oval Invincibles in that opening game, live on BBC 2. 6 o'clock our coverage starts on the radio at 6:15 on BBC 5 Live. Now, there's other games taking place today in the T20 Blast. 7 matches on the final day of the group fixtures. Notts, Yorkshire and Lancashire confirming their place yesterday. Alex, I know you were following that one closely. They're through to the quarterfinals already in the North Group. Worcestershire and the Birmingham Bears are competing for the final spot. In the South Group, Kent and Somerset already through. 2 of Sussex, Surrey, Gloucestershire and Hampshire will join them. So I will just quickly let you know what's happening. A number of them 4 o'clock start, so we're quite early in those games, but I will let you know what is going on. Glamorgan against Hampshire. Hampshire are chasing 185, quite far through this game therefore, and they are 58 without loss in the 5th over, so they need a further 127 from 96. Birmingham Bears against Northants. Well, they've got an early wicket, the Bears, in a victory in a game they're looking to win to try and take one of those places. Northants chasing 192 at Edgbaston, are 9 for 1 in the 2nd over. Middlesex against Essex. Well, Middlesex hit 169 for 5 at Chelmsford. Essex in response after 4 overs, 33 for 1. Notts against Durham. Nottinghamshire batting first in the 4th over, 36 without loss in that game at Trent Bridge, which I would have thought will be being played on the same pitch that was used the other night. And if that's the case, we can expect lots of runs to be scored. Yet to begin in the games between Somerset and Gloucestershire, and Leicestershire and Worcestershire. Those both 6:30 starts. Similarly, Kent against Sussex, 6:30 start at Canterbury. You can listen to every ball of those games on the BBC Sport website and app. Loads of ways of following the action, keeping across things, and making sure you're well across who could qualify. Just a reminder, Notts, Yorkshire and Lancashire already through in the North Group. Worcestershire and Birmingham are competing for that final spot. Kent and Somerset through in the South Group, and 2 of Sussex, Surrey and Gloucestershire, and Hampshire I should say, will join them. So that's the state of play in the T20 Blast here at Headingley with the sun shining. We've been treated to a real show from England. 200 all out. We might have an answer, Alex, to my question about whether a side has ever been all out twice for scores of north of 200. And the answer is no. Only 3 times has a side scored 200 plus and been bowled out in international T20s. England have done it twice, and Ireland when they played Afghanistan in 2017. So it has happened before, but not in successive matches. So that's the key. So England, they are setting new ground in white ball cricket, and I'm all on board for it. I love it.
They're finding new ways to break records every time they play. I
can't get over how England approach their cricket, because in many respects the obvious thing to do would be to play it safer and to ensure you got to 180 and batted out the overs, but that's not the way they do it. Every single player just goes for it.
I mean, it's incredible really, isn't it? You think, what is this England team on a day where they all fire, they all play as well as they can?
Yeah.
What on earth could they get? No ground is big enough.
I mean, bear in mind they've got 2 back-to-back sports venues here, and Liam Livingstone's assaulted the second one because the first one's not big enough. What ground is? But this is a Pakistan side, let's not forget, who are 1-up in this series, who've hit 232 for 6 a couple of nights ago. So they know what they're doing with the bat, and they will certainly fancy chasing this down, and they've chased down more than 200 already this year once against South Africa. So there is form for this. I think we're set for a really interesting 20 overs. We've got Jos Buttler, the England captain, leading his side out, and we're pretty much ready to go. Scott Reed's going to come back and join us. Alex, you're going to stay on commentary. Can I get you a cup of tea? No, you don't like tea, do you?
You know that. It's just brown water with milk in it.
There you go.
So I don't drink tea.
Well, if the cricket commentary doesn't work out, food reviewing might be for you, Alex. Right, Scott Reed's going to come in and take up commentary, and it looks like it might be Adil Rashid to open the ball.
Oh, I was going to say that. You took the words right out of my mouth. You're a pain in my neck, Henry Moran. But yes, we're going to see Adil Rashid. Scott said we might see him in the power play. England going for a new tactic. They're looking how they're going to play their side coming up to the World Cup out in Dubai in October, where the wickets probably will dry up towards the back end of the tournament, where spin might become a thing that's needed. So England have got the 2 leg spinners today, but we're going to see Adil Rashid. Scott, 1-0 to you.
Well, he's done it before, hasn't he? I'm sure he's opened the ball in the T20 for England relatively recently as well. But I guess it's worth a do, isn't it? You see quite a lot of it in domestic T20 cricket. You see a lot of spinners opening the bowling, don't you?
You see it a lot in women's cricket as well. Like I'm all for spinners opening the ball, and I think if you can sneak an over in, and you sneak a wicket, or you just bowl one over that potentially goes for 2 or 3, you know, your team's on top from the off there.
Are you more often than not wanting to take pace off the ball in most T20 matches?
Yeah, I mean, in the female game, spinners are a big thing. You know, we will play the 100 with probably minimum 3 spinners in our side.
I was speaking to Peter Moores when he was head coach of Lancashire. It was in between his 2 stints with England, and he said he could quite easily imagine a full attack full of spin bowlers. Yeah,
we've seen that in the women's game. Australia, they just bowled 5 spinners, 6 spinners.
It will be the leg spin of Adil Rashid then. to get the run chase up and running. Rizwan on strike for Pakistan, reaching for this ball and chopping away into the offside. One bounce to Jason Roy at extra cover, and there is no run. This fabulous opening pair that Pakistan have got, who have been superb together as an opening partnership. Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. He taps it back, and as Rashid comes in and bowls, but a little forward defensive just pushes into the offside. Again, Roy quickly onto that. It's short extra cover, and there's no run. And
this is what I mean. If you can, England almost feel like they're on top after the first 2 balls. They've got Jason Roy in on the 1 extra cover, who's just fielded the first 2 balls. Sorry, and you almost sense that Rashid's on top.
2 dot balls to start it. There's Rashid twirling in, bowling to Rizwan, who slogs it over mid-on. 1 bounce and 4 runs. Well, a couple of tentative kind of forward pushes, and then a swat over mid-on for 4.
Yeah, Rashid won't mind that. All that takes is a little bit of a miscue, but a great shot. Taking on the fielder, mid-on up inside the ring. The fielders that we've got out are square leg and mid-wicket. So he's taken him on, and he's on top.
Pakistan are up and running. Target of 201 to win the game. In the first over, 4 without loss. A little single dropped into the onside. That's clever batting, actually, isn't it, by Rizwan, having hit 1 for 4. Just drops it to mid-wicket. It's vacant, that area. Get through for 1. Keep it ticking along. 5 without loss.
Yeah, they always say that. Good cricket. A boundary and then a 1. Although, I think it was A.B. de Villiers said it's not good cricket, because why would you not just hit the next ball for a boundary as well?
Which, to be fair, does happen more often than not.
Does happen more often than not. Not everybody's good as A.B., are they?
No,
so
no.
Not everyone can just hit boundaries when they fancy it.
It's a bit harsh to judge everybody by his standards, yeah. He can do that. There's not many who can just keep going. Take a single. I've just hit 4. I'll take a single. Quite happy with that. 5 without loss. Babar Azam on strike. Here's Rashid in bowling. And that's worked away through the onside. And mid-wicket, as Alex described, is vacant. The 2 fielders outside the circle are on that leg side boundary. It's a lot of grass to manoeuvre the ball into for Babar Azam. He's up and going, gets his first run. Pakistan move to 6 without loss. 1 ball left of the first over. Being bowled by Adil Rashid. His leg spin for England from the Emerald stand end, the rugby stand end. He's in over the wicket, bowling a little bit flatter and quicker to Rizwan, who works it up towards mid-on. Plenty of bottom hand, a little wristy flick along the ground for a single. It's a 7 off the first over. 7 without loss. 1 over gone. Babar Azam 1 and Rizwan on 6.
A good start that for England. What we have to remember here, every over that goes at less than 10s, the run rate's going to be climbing. Pakistan need 201 to win, so 194 more from 114 balls. So every single over that England bowl that is less than 10 is a win for them.
So what are you wanting from this power play if you're Pakistan? Are you wanting runs on the board or wickets in hand?
Runs on the board. Right. There's only one way to go about this, and it is to maximise the power play. But if you lose 3 wickets in the power play, this is a fine line, isn't there?
It's a balance.
There is the balance. But as England showed, you can lose wickets in the power play and still motor on.
Well, on Friday at Trent Bridge, these two didn't come out and smoke it around, did they? It was actually quite a steady power play, wasn't it, by Pakistan? And then they were able to kind of excel and build later on in the innings. Yeah,
and I guess each team has their own way about going about a run chase or setting in a T20. So it'd be interesting to see how these two go.
They're a terrific partnership. They average 53 in T20 international cricket. These two for Pakistan, Babar Azam and Mohammad Rizwan. It could be Chris Jordan from the Kirkstall lane end bowling. Oh, that's a terrific delivery. Kind of flirts at the ball, does Rizwan. And it weaves its way past the outside edge and into the gloves of Buttler, and there's no run. A terrific ball first up.
A smile on his face as well, Rizwan. He's just prodded at that outside the off stump. If that was Test match cricket and there was a few slips in play, you'd be thinking, you don't want to be playing that shot.
You'd be rubbing your hands if you're the bowler. There's a beauty first up from Chris Jordan. Comes moving back in, right on over the wicket, bowls again. This is taken off the pads out towards backward square leg. The umpires have a little look and they agree it's gone for 6. Swatted out towards the Western Terrace. The Flames are up for the first time in the Pakistan innings. 6 off the bat of Rizwan. He moves to 12 and Pakistan 13 without loss.
Yeah, brilliant delivery first up from Chris Jordan, but then just straying down the leg side and Rizwan able to help it around the corner. Just flicked it for 6. We've seen that twice today. Chris Jordan, the first person to do it.
A flick for 6 in T20 cricket. Here's Jordan to Rizwan. It's 4, it's wide, it's squirted down to third man. 4 more. Reaching for it, and off the edge of the bat, with third man inside the ring, disappears down towards the boundary. 17 without loss.
Again, it was full, it was wide, it was outside the off stump. Chris Jordan cannot get his line and his length right here. His first ball was an absolute seed, and then he's gone 1 down the leg side, 1 outside the off stump. Third man inside the ring, so anything on it races away to the boundary for 4.
It's a deep square leg and a fine leg outside the ring. Jordan in and bowls, another beauty. It's a good comeback from Jordan. Blimey, what a mixed bag of a first over from Chris Jordan we've had. A play and a miss from Rizwan, taken by the keeper. I mean, there's been a couple of hittable shots in the middle of 2 outstanding balls.
Licorice all sorts.
Yes. I think he's a bit grumpy, Chris Jordan. He's been hit for 6 and 4. I'll knock the smile off your face with another peach from the Kirkstall Lane end. 2 balls left of the second over. Jordan's first. Rizwan 16 from 9. Babar Azam's face just the 1 delivery. Fallen off stump and punched down the ground. And stopped by Jordan, low to his left hand side. And there is no run. Live from Headingley, it's the T20 International between England and Pakistan. 200 all out, England. So 201 will win it for Pakistan. Chris Jordan bowling for England from the Kirkstall Lane end. Rizwan on strike for Pakistan. Here's Jordan, right on the wicket and bowls, but down the leg side. Signalled as a wide by the umpire. Score ticks along to 18 without loss. It's been a mixed bag, hasn't it, this over from Chris Jordan?
Yeah, it has. He's not quite got his line right. I've just seen his economy rates by phase for the power play. His economy rate is 8.7. In the middle is where he's best at 7.3, and at the death he's 9.4. So he's quite an expensive bowler in the grand scheme of things.
Back in to try and complete the over. It's full on middle stump, actually clipped away into the onside by Rizwan for a single. Picked up by Saqib Mahmood at mid-on. And there's 1 run. That's the end of the second over. 19 without loss. Rizwan 17 and Babar Azam on 1. Expensive, but obviously gives you that big wicket-taking threat.
Yeah, he is a wicket-taking threat. And although he goes at 9s at the death, he's an incredible death bowler. And I think often you look at stats, but you have to look at the context of games and game situations. You know, he's not bowled well there in his first over. He sprayed the ball down the leg side, sprayed it outside the off stump, but he's bowled 2 absolute seeds in there as well. So, you know, it was one of those where England probably still on top just, but Jordan's not helped there.
Tom Curran coming into the attack from the Emerald stand end, the rugby stand end of the ground. So 1 over from Rashid. He's replaced. Curran with the ball in hand at the top of his mark, and Rizwan is facing all the deliveries here. He's not being very fair. He's monopolising the strike. Babar Azam at the non-strikers end has faced just that 1 ball so far. He's been stood leaning on his bat, watching his mate at the other end knock it around. I think a bit of movement behind the bowler's arm as Curran just comes in. So he has to abort his run up, and Rizwan sends him back to his mark. 1 or 2 spectators.
That door again. People moving.
It's a naughty door, that, isn't it? So
shut the door.
It's always it's been open at the most inappropriate times.
There we go. And now go and sit down and get out the way. Oh, someone's opened it again. Oh no, they're having a shocker. They need a security guard there saying, sit down.
Yes, needs somebody in a
Looks like it's some kind of mare as well.
Oh,
he's having a mare.
Oh dear.
The mare's having a mare.
Has he got the full chains on? Have you spotted them?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Oh dear.
Absolute mare.
Very good, Alex. Very good.
But the door's still open.
Well, yeah, there's people obviously coming out from where the hospitality is to try and find their seats, but as you mentioned, Alex, it just needs to be managed, doesn't it, really? I mean, we've got quite a sizable hold-up now while we wait for the door to be closed and for people to take their seats. There is a cricket game going on as well. I think everyone's ready. Everyone's found the seat. Keep the door shut. There's Curran, eventually to start his first over. Balls to Rizwan. Easing the ball off his hip, down to fine leg. Bairstow fields. Rizwan gets a single. He moves to 18. 20 without loss as we start the third over of the Pakistan reply. If they take this deep, we're in for a terrific finish, aren't we?
We are, but I've just seen that door's open again.
Again.
There we go, they shut it. You think somebody's going to say, just stay still for 6 balls, will you?
I mean, I'm sure there's a sign that says, please don't move behind when the bowling is from that end, but yeah, people not really paying attention to it. Here's Curran to Babar Azam, swatted away. 4 runs in front of square on the leg side. Sat up for him nicely, didn't it, just outside off stump. Drags it through square leg for 4. He moves to 5. Pakistan 24 without loss.
Yeah, great shot that from Babar Azam. Curran just bowling back of a length. Babar Azam straight onto it, smacking the ball into the leg side. There's nobody out on the boundary there. We've got a deep square leg, but it was way in front of square.
Yeah, probably 15 yards to square legs, left hand side. Wristy flick towards long leg, or down towards long leg. There's a bit of hesitation. They're going to come back for a second. Uncertain as to whether there was 2 or not. But Babar Azam does come back for a second. He's up to 7, 26 without loss.
Get the sense that we're going to have a good game on our hands here. Pakistan have come out fighting. 201 to win.
Well, if these two set off like they tend to do as an opening partnership, then Pakistan will be in a pretty strong position in terms of having a base to try and chase them down. Curran over the wicket and bowls. Oh, that's looped into the onside. It will land safe. I think Babar Azam for a second was a little uncertain as to whether that might fall into the hands of the man inside the circle at mid-wicket, but over the top of him and deep square leg comes up and he gets a run. Moves to 8, 27 without loss.
Just the old chipping wedge there.
Yeah, a little chip off the hip. It ballooned high into the onside. Slightly nervous glance from Babar Azam, and then the release as it fell safe. Curran in. Rizwan works the ball through the onside. And Liam Livingstone comes up from deep back with square leg to field. Score ticks along to 28 without loss. By the way, if you missed that monster hit from Liam Livingstone, you'll be able to see it on the BBC Sport website and app. Links to all the highlights, in-play highlights there. It's well worth you finding it, because it was ridiculous as he cleared the rugby stand end for a 6. Final ball of the third over. Here's Curran leaning forward as he comes in and bowls, and Babar Azam up onto his toes. A wristy flick up to mid-on. And Mahmood fields for England. And Babar Azam moves to 9. Rizwan's on 19, so 3 overs gone of the Pakistan reply. 29 without loss is a nice steady start by these two terrific opening batsmen. They can negotiate another 3 overs and get through the power play with all 10 wickets in hand, and that will be a great base for Pakistan.
It will. And would you ever say that a steady start when they're 29 for none after 3?
I know.
But we have got something we would love to see here, Scott. We've got Saqib Mahmood coming in to the bowling attack. The Lancashire lad. A brilliant ODI series.
Yes, but he's on a mission. He's kind of a long way away from potentially being in the England squad. As he comes in and bowls to Babar Azam, just trying to work the ball down to third man. A little fortunate not to drag it back onto his stumps, but just dabs it away into the offside, no run.
Look quick first up that from Saqib Mahmood. Seam up delivery, nipping back off the pitch.
One of his many skills, isn't it? He bowls quickly, but he has the ability to move the ball both ways at speed as well. So a lot of Saqib Mahmood over, of course, the last 3 or 4 years. Has his England shirt on with a little white towel hooked into the back of his trousers. He's right on over the wicket and bowling to Babar Azam, flicked away into the onside. Adil Rashid's at mid-wicket to field and there's no run. Brilliant kind of reflection on the broader strength of cricket in this country, isn't it? When that entire new squad had to be picked, and the guys that were selected played as well as they did.
Yeah, and it was one of those. John Simpson with the gloves has come out and said that he thought he was dreaming. You know, somebody that never would have made their England debut got to play for England and play 3 ODIs.
Mahmood in bowling. That's pulled to the right of mid-on, where Moeen now Ali's fielding, and the cheers and the horns and the waving of the flags will tell you it's a boundary for Babar. Babar Azam moves up to 13. Pakistan to 33 without loss.
Not a bad delivery that from Saqib Mahmood. Back of a length, but Babar Azam picked it up so well. To the right hand side of Moeen Ali, you sort of think he could have put a dive in, but he didn't. And the ball raced away for 4.
He could have done, but he didn't.
He didn't fancy it.
That's Mahmood's response, and then bowling. Pulled at hip height out towards back with square leg. Just for a single this time. Babar Azam moves up to 14 not out. Pakistan 34 without loss. 2 balls left of the 4th over. A target of 201 to win here at Headingley. Brings Rizwan back on strike. Chris Jordan and Saqib Mahmood having a little conversation at the top of Mahmood's mark. Plenty of experience to his left there in Jordan. And what's he wanting? A change to the field? Oh, I think he wants his long leg to be a little squarer. Shifting out a little nearer towards the western terrace. A long leg and a deep square leg outside the circle. There's one on 19. Mahmood in and bowls. He's worked off the pads into the onside. Rashid fields, and there is no run.
Well bowled from Saqib Mahmood. He's just played simple cricket in his first over. He's just bowled fast and at the stumps. Tried to hit the top of middle and off, and he's done exactly that. Well, not literally. Otherwise we'd have had a wicket.
A nice calm start for Mahmood. Rizwan on strike as Babar Azam twirls his bat at the non-striker's end. Mahmood in and bowling. He's just eased away into the offside. Angled down to kind of the gully region. Playing it with his hand kind of tucked into the side of his hip. And he gets a run and keeps the strike as well. It's the end of the over. Rizwan moves to 20 with that. So 4 overs gone of the Pakistan reply. 35 without loss in this power play. I wonder who England will turn to now, because you get the sense with the penultimate over of the power play that teams do tend to try and target this over. Where will England go? And what will Pakistan's response be? It looks like another one from Curran.
Got to turn my mic back on after having a drink. I was talking to myself. All I said.
Take 2.
Was another over for Tom Curran.
Yeah, they've gone back to Curran.
You didn't miss much if you're listening. You wouldn't anyway if my mic was off, let's be honest.
There's Curran from the Emerald stand end balls, and Rizwan up onto his toes, eased away into the onside. Mid-wicket comes round to complete the fielding. And there's 1 run. 36 without loss. Well, you've got a busy month coming. You've got a lot to think about, Alex. You can't be thinking about pressing your mic on and off. You've got to do that. You've got to play cricket. You're all over the country. You've got your podcast. You've got a lot going on.
I have got a lot going on. I'm very busy. I tell you what, I've never been so busy in my life. And I'm not coping very well. And I don't even have a real job, let's be honest. I play a bit of cricket, commentate, do a podcast.
Here's Curran to Babar Azam, leans back, swats the ball out through the onside. Probably just get 1 for it. He does. Didn't really time it. Clothed it away through mid-wicket. Gets a single.
I'm sure people are wondering, saying, she's got a podcast. Well, it's No Balls to Cricket podcast. Kate Cross, the England Seamer, is my co-host, and you can catch up on BBC Sounds. And you can email us on noballspodcast@bbc.co.uk. All your weird and wonderful questions, or if you just have a cricket question you want to ask us, we'll be sure to answer it for you.
That was superbly done, that, Alex.
Well, not my first rodeo.
Here's Curran to Rizwan, and that's dragged away through the onside. Oh, he's got 4 for it, just behind square. He's banged in short and wide from Curran. Rizwan up onto his toes and looked to pull it behind square on the leg side for 4. He moves to 25. Pakistan to 41 without loss.
Tom Curran going for the bouncer. Rizwan, he looks in good touch. He's played that. He's sort of squatted down to play it and played it above his head. but he's dissected the square leg and the fine leg fielder perfectly, and he gets 4 for it. And now we have a little bit of a convention going on. Tom Curran, Chris Jordan, Moeen Ali talking about bowling plans. How are they going to get a wicket? A wicket now is absolutely key for England to break this partnership. 41 for none after 4.3 overs.
Yeah, just the start. Pakistan, what they've been hoping for. I mentioned at the top, this partnership is a terrific one for Pakistan, averaging 53, these two, in T20 cricket as a pair. And there's more runs here, probably just one, I think. It's pulled down to fine leg. Bairstow gets in behind it to field. And the score ticks on to 42 without loss. Rizwan moves to 26. It brings Babar Azam back on stride.
Going for the short ball again there, Tom Curran. Must be a little plan. See if they'll take it on.
It's a fast, hard, bobbly outfield as well. Bairstow got everything in behind that. It took a bounce at a slightly awkward height just in front of him, but stopped the ball. Curran in again. That's drilled back down the ground. It will be cut off at mid-on by Saqib Mahmood. And there's no run. 42 without loss, 1 ball after the 5th. I've got to say, this is the first time I've been on commentary with you since I spent a bit of time with Kate Cross about a week and a bit ago.
Am I better? Yeah. Is that what you're going to say?
Well, Kate had a bit of an issue with you, which I know came up on the podcast with regards to you nicking her mug.
I did use her mug.
It's Curran to completely over. Babar Azam waiting. That's slapped up to mid-on. He will get a single this time. Picked up by Saqib Mahmood. Sharp throw in towards the stumps, but Babar Azam safely home. He moves to 16. End of the 5th. 43 without loss. Rizwan 26 and Babar Azam on 16. I think you nicked a mug, didn't you? Which is, quite frankly, Alex Hartley, outrageous. Defend yourself, and then Henry's coming in.
Right, so, story behind it. Kate Cross has gone on England tour. She's left me. She's in an England bubble. I'm in her house. I'm living with her at the minute. So everything in that house is hers. And I'm just, making myself comfortable. I make a cup of tea. Actually, that's a lie. I made a coffee because I don't drink tea. Made a coffee. Put a picture on Instagram of me having a coffee, watching the cricket. And on the cup was a K for Kate. And I get a phone call. What on earth do you think you're doing using my mug? I said, well, it's just a cup. It's just a coffee.
The thing I don't really get about this is why, if it was another mug, I mean, you sort of share them all, don't you? Here comes Mahmood, start of a new over. And this time to pull finds Rashid at mid-wicket, and there's no run.
Yeah, so I can use any other mug apparently in the house, but that one's personal and I can't use it. So yeah, if you want to listen to it, we had an argument about it on the podcast, 3rd episode on BBC Sounds, and we started it off with an argument.
Yeah, as of the following 2 episodes actually.
Yeah, well, it's now called No Balls, the Argument Podcast with Alex Hartley and Kate Cross.
It's just a relentless stream of moaning from the pair of you.
I think it's because we now live together. We're starting to irritate each other a bit, and we got a bit of beef with each other.
Yeah. Mahmood moving in, right arm over. Helped around the corner. That could bring 4 runs, Babar's timed that nicely. Has work to do for the fielder at deep backward square in front of the Western Terrace, who rise to applaud the effort of Jonny Bairstow, who prevents the run. The boundary, I should say. 45 without loss. But that's what happens when good friends move in together. It's the test of a friendship, isn't it?
It is indeed, and it's been tested. No, it hasn't. It's been absolutely fine. We're getting on like a house on fire. So much so, I haven't even started work on my new house yet.
Oh, very good. Mahmood to bolt to Babar Azam, who's on 18. It's back of a length, wide, down the leg side. 1 more to the total. 46 without loss. I mean, the good news is that you don't also work together in a high-pressured, highly competitive environment like professional cricket.
Because that would be a disaster,
That
wouldn't
would
it?
be, with one of you as captain, potentially.
Well, one captain, and then when one comes back, she takes over as the captaincy.
Yes, I did notice it. So Kate's the captain of the Manchester Originals.
She is, and I'm the captain of the Lancashire Thunder. But apparently she wanted a bit of practice captaincy with the captaincy going into the 100, so I had to let her captain one of the North West Thunder games.
Mahmood bowling a full delivery, which is whipped away out towards mid-wicket, and it brings a boundary. Whether it's 4 or 6, we'll wait and see. I think it's a 4. Indeed it is. But the 50's up either way. Pakistan 50 without loss. We're midway through the 6th over, and Babar is on to 22.
Yeah, grimace there from Saqib Mahmood. He knows he's just bowled that one in the slot. He's attacking the stumps, but he's just got a little bit too full there, and Babar Azam straight onto it. There's nobody, or wasn't anybody out on that mid-wicket boundary. And as long as you get it up and over those fielders in the ring, It's always going to be 4.
Power play overs are so dangerous for a fielding side because you get it slightly wrong as a bowler, and there are so many scoring options. The 2 outside the circle are at square leg and deep mid wicket. There'll be nothing wide outside the off stump unless something goes wrong from Saqib Mahmood. 50 partnership coming from 35 balls. Mahmood comes in again, and it is slightly in the offside. It could be a wicket. It is a wicket. Diving forward is Dawid Malan at extra cover. It's not a great shot from Babar. He was looking to try and work it into the leg side. It's spooned up into off. And England break through, 50 for 1.
We've seen that a few times today. The batter's just looking to play into the leg side and a leading edge. Babar got a top edge on that one. Dawid Malan sat on the ring. A simple catch for him, just diving forward, but they're not easy to judge sometimes. The world's T20 #1 batsman with the breakthrough. And Saqib Mahmood gets the wicket.
Yeah, to get rid of the world's #1 ODI batsman, Babar Azam, who's out for 22 from 16 balls faced. And that was what England needed before the end of the power play. Get one of these 2 out. And it is the big wicket of Babar Azam, the Pakistan captain. Celebrations for England. Their target is 201. Pakistan will have to just rebuild again. As Sohaib Maqsood joins the action, fresh from a lively cameo in the last match, but that was a cameo that followed a 150-run partnership, so it was a position of freedom for Maqsood, who made 19 from 7 balls with a couple of big sixes, and he joins the action with England having got the breakthrough.
England got the breakthrough, but Pakistan still up with the run rate. The run rate at 10s. As I said earlier, anything that goes below 10s, it's a win for England. Anything above 10s, a win for Pakistan.
It was, no variation from Saqib. It was dug into the pitch. Just seemed to get a little bit big on Babar Azam, and he mistimed it horribly. Right then, field shifts with a deep third and a square leg now outside the circle. Sohaib waiting and playing off the back foot into the offside. And there's no run. Heading towards the end of the power play. The target is 201. We've got 1 ball left of it, and Pakistan are 50 for 1 here on 5 Live Sports Extra.
Saqib Mahmood bowled brilliantly in the power play today. He's just looked to target the top of off, bang the ball just back of a length, not allow the Pakistani batters to get on top of him, to get up and underneath his ball. The only one we've seen that was slightly wrong from Saqib Mahmood got heaved into the leg side for 4.
Maqsood on strike. Saqib Mahmood into bowl to him. Outside edge flashes down towards deep third. That's why England have got a fielder there. It'll just be the 1 run. End of the over. Alex Hartley is departing. We'll hear more from Alex later on in the innings. 6 overs gone. 51 for 1 is the Pakistan score. Their target for victory 201. I'm delighted to say that former Pakistan all-rounder Azam Mahmood is plugging his microphone in to join us. And Azza, first things first, what have you made of those 6 overs?
Yeah, interesting. 50 for 1. Pakistan will be happy at this stage, and chase is on.
Yep, feels that way. But the wicket of Babar Azam is always, if nothing else, psychologically, it's so big.
Yeah, but he played really well, but he tried to get some more runs in the last power play over, but it was good delivery from Saqib. I was surprised not to see Saqib taking the new ball, because he was really good with the new ball and getting Babar and Rizwan twice in the one-day series as well. So not seeing him, I know England are experimenting at this time, but you need to win the game as well at the same time.
Yeah, you need to get the habit of victory.
Absolutely.
We're going to see Moeen having a bowl. Didn't bowl in the first match. Played nicely with the bat in this game, and he's coming in over the wicket as Rizwan wallops the ball out towards deep mid-wicket for 1. And the score 52 for 1, with Moeen wearing a very bright pair of red bowling boots.
Matching his kit.
Yeah. Would we have ever seen you in a pair of those?
I used to wear black, not red.
Yeah.
In the training, I do that.
Yeah, but not when there was a crowd around to say anything, right?
Yes, absolutely. Especially
Moeen bowling, and a lovely little dab down towards deep third that'll be collected by Saqib with 1 run taken 53 for 1, sorry. Especially where?
Especially when you're Asian. But Moeen is Asian British as well, so it's okay with him, you know. Like, I'm mainly Asian. British come quite late to me.
Moeen Ali he's having a conversation now at the far end with umpire Wharf. What's the issue there? Is it more issues with people on those steps, perhaps?
I think those steps, you know, these guys are opening the door and moving around.
Here comes Moeen Ali to bowl. Saqib, who's gone big into the leg side for 6. Wow, we've seen some big hitting today, and that is another one right out of the screws. Pakistan 59 for 1.
It's a great matchup from Maqsood and Moeen Ali. Great shot from Maqsood. You know, he's a clean striker of the cricket ball. We saw him in one ODI series, but he's had a great PSL playing for Multan Sultan. He was the highest run scorer. He can hit the ball, and when he hits big.
Yeah, it goes a long way. It really does. He's got 92 on his back, apparently in honour of the World Cup winning squad of 1992.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. He was part of the Pakistan World Cup squad in 2015, but after that he was dropped from the team and come back. Luckily,
Moeen Ali into bowl. Once again, a big heave. This time, a bottom edge is going to fly down towards the deep third boundary, and it's going to get there. It just seemed to pick up pace. It's spinning and squirming its way away from Mahmood. And it's another boundary to see Pakistan to 63 for 1.
Well, big heave from Maqsood. You know, he was looking to go extra cover. That's the area he likes to attack, but in the end got resolved for 4 runs.
2 balls left of the 7th over. The target is 201, and Pakistan 63 for 1. Moeen bowling, another big heave into the leg side, but Jonny Bairstow is protecting things at deep backward square, so it'll be just the single. Maqsood has 13 I should say, from 6.
Maqsood needs to learn from here, you know, like you got 10 runs in over, 11 runs in over. You don't need to go and kill that over, you know, like you just need to play and target other bowler as well. So that's where he needs to understand and learn the game a bit more.
Moeen bowling to Rizwan, who's tucking the ball into the leg side for 1, pushing hard for the first, and it will just be the single. 7 overs gone then, 65 for 1. The target is 201. Moeen Ali concedes 14 from his first over, an expensive one as he has a little chat in the distance with Chris Jordan, and the over coming to an end with Pakistan needing 136 further runs from 78 balls. I just popped outside. It is really seriously warm out there. And I know it's easy for me to say, having stuck my head out the door, when you've been actually on television outside.
No, it wasn't that bad, you know. We were in PSL and Abu Dhabi, temperature was 46, 48 degrees. It's not too bad. And a little bit wind was blowing down there when I was down there. So it's not too bad, you know, compared to Abu Dhabi, 46 degrees.
Yeah, okay, that's a fair point, yeah. So what you're saying is a summer's day in Yorkshire is...
It's a beautiful day,
yeah,
you know, like
it is a lovely day.
Good day to play golf.
And a good day to play cricket. Here comes Matt Parkinson, who's bowling to Rizwan. Wants the single, will get it as well, damping the ball into the offside. This is a big 4 overs if he bowls for Matt Parkinson. He was expensive in the game a couple of nights ago. 4 overs, none for 47. But we saw in the ODI series.
This is make and break now with Sohaib Maqsood facing spinner. He loves hitting spinners. Let's see.
Long off and long on out. As Parkinson comes in over the wicket. Maqsood waiting too long. His attempted heave scuttles through to the gloves of Josh Buttler.
One thing, Pakistan bowl really slow. It's very difficult to take him on unless you come down the wicket and hit him.
Parkinson in again. That's a little bit quicker. He has taken it on. It's in the air. It's to the right of Jordan at long on, who will pick up with a single taken. 67 for 1.
This time he used his feet, but didn't quite nail that ball.
It feels quite a... I suppose, as Parkinson comes in and Rizwan clips the ball down the ground for 1 to bring Maqsood onto strike. Parkinson against Maqsood feels like a real sort of high intensity battle, because you know there is that element of cat and mouse about it.
Yeah, definitely. He's going to take him on. He's going to take him on all the better bowlers, because that's the role he's been given. That's why he's batting at number 3 ahead of Fakhar Zaman.
Maqsood on 14, waiting for Parkinson. He hits the ball hard on the bounce. One bounce out to Jason Roy at wide long off. And one more run is taken. If Parkinson can get out of this over with another dot ball, it'll be a job very well done. Just 4 from the over so far. Pakistan 69 for 1. Here comes Parkinson, blonde hair again. Whacked into the leg side. 2 fielders running around to try and pick up. One from deep mid wicket, one from wide long on, and a good little bit of teamwork between Livingstone and Jordan. Means it is just 2 from the end of the over and 6 from Parkinson's first. Does represent a pretty well done job, that, because any over that sees that run rate increase will be something that England will cherish.
The good thing about the pace he bowled throughout of this over, 46, 47 and 49. The quickest one was 49 miles per hour. And it's not easy, when you use your everything. Can't have pace and can't use the pace, which is a good thing. Interesting to see, how Adil will bowl here.
Yeah, well, England's spin bowlers, leg spin bowlers, working in tandem. We've seen Moeen Ali bowling his off spin from the far end, and Matt Parkinson with his leg breaks, and now Adil Rashid.
We saw in first innings there was little bit for the spinner in this pitch.
So Adil Rashid comes into the attack once again, and there's an appeal for a stumping.
I think that's out.
And the reaction from the batsman and the keeper suggests that this one is gone. 71 for 1 is about to become 71 for 2, I think. And Adil Rashid has struck immediately at the start of his second over.
TV umpire to director. We have an umpire review for stumping. Could I see
a great start from Adil Rashid.
Please?
Let's see here. Side on view.
What a delivery. Okay. That's poor batting. That's poor batting. Yeah, that's gone. That's gone.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ready to make my decision for the big screen. My decision is out. Repeat, out.
And the crowd are about to know it as well. The big sponsor screen has those 3 letters. Cheers for the England supporters. And potentially quite a big wicket, that. Maqsood is striking it well. But Adil Rashid gets the wicket, 71 for 2.
Interesting to see Hafeez is batting ahead of Fakhar Zaman when the 2 leg spinners are bowling. I don't know why they changed it. Ball is going away from the batter. So why? Send him left-hander.
There's a big lunge forward from Maqsood. Beat the outside edge and Buttler whipped the bails off. You say poor piece of batting. Why? What did he get wrong?
Because that was the first ball, different type of bowler. He lunged forward, went really all the way. Should have played on the back foot this delivery. Get a single, go on the non-striker and see what he's doing, and then take him on.
Mohammad Hafeez comes to the middle, aged 40 now. He made his ODI test debuts way back in 2003. 18 years ago, but his T20 renaissance in recent years, he's got a best of 99 not out, and that only came last year, so he's got this real added element to his game that's come in later years.
He's been playing really well, since he started playing golf, he's hitting the ball really well. That's what he mentioned.
Is that the reason?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Hafeez on strike as Rashid is bowling, driven into the ground, into the offside where Moeen Ali picks up.
Maybe that's the only reason, because Hafeez played really well against Adil Rashid in last tour. Maybe that's the only reason they send him, because he's the best player against spin.
Rashid back in the side, tosses the ball from one hand to the other, comes in over the wicket to the right-handed Hafeez. It's a little bit quicker this time. Another drive towards Moeen Ali that's fumbled and will allow Hafeez through for 1. 72 for 2. We're midway through the 9th over. Pakistan's target is 201. And there is a degree to which people would say, oh, what's golf got to do with cricket? But
yeah, solid base, I would say. When you're hitting...
In comes Adil Rashid, moving around in the creases. Rizwan giving himself space for a little tuck into the leg side. For 1, 73 for 2.
And with the golf, you can create gaps, like when you're chipping and you can see the fielder where the fielders are, and you can hit the cricket ball on that spot like Collingwood used to do that a lot, hitting in the gap and running hard. Hafeez 40 won't run hard as Collingwood.
73 for 2 as Hafeez digs the ball down the ground. Up to long on for a single. 74 for 2. Well, it's no coincidence how many cricketers make very good golfers.
Yeah.
There are many transferables.
Yes, there are a lot of players, like myself as well. Now I'm into golf a bit more.
Adil Rashid is bowling to Rizwan, sweeping hard. Has he found the gap on the leg side? No, because Bairstow is really quick. And a combination of he and Liam Livingstone limit it to just 2. Really good work. Applause around Headingley as the 9th over comes to an end. 76 for 2. The sun shining once again. Shadows just beginning to suggest a little bit of lengthening. But it has been a glorious afternoon here in Leeds. And we've got a really good setup here with Pakistan needing 125 from 66 balls with 8 wickets in hand.
Great example of fielding here. That's the difference between Pakistan fielders and England fielders. They're working in partnership, and there was a great effort on the last ball as well and over before as well. So there was a great effort from the fielder.
Parkinson's going to continue in front of us with Hafeez on strike on 2. Just 6 runs from Parkinson's first over. He's waited a long time for consecutive opportunities in this England side because sometimes frustrating winter, and now he's here.
Yeah, sometimes it's very difficult. The top bowler is bowling really well, or some batsman is batting really well, and you can't get your chance. And
Hafeez on strike. Full delivery is driven as far as Roy at wide, long off for 1. 77 for 2.
And because of COVID, we saw, the one-day score, totally different score, and that the players got opportunity and performed really well in front of the home crowd, which is really good opportunity for those players.
Parkinson with the long sleeves, bowling a delivery. It turns quite sharply, and the attempted sweep from Rizwan is missed. Buttler has the bails off. The crowd react to those bails igniting. But no danger of the batsman being stumped. Some sharp turn there.
Sharp turn, yeah. He was looking for a sweep. That's his go-to shot. Should need to play it straight.
Parkinson in again. Happy just to pick up 1 into the leg side, Rizwan. And immediately, Hafeez has no interest in the second run.
You won't see many 2s, like when Babar and Rizwan was batting, you can see a lot of running between the wicket, getting 1, turning 1 into 2 and 2 into 3. But with Hafeez, won't see that.
Parkinson, gold chain around his neck, coming in now and bowling another turning delivery. Spits out of the surface, and they will pick up 2 here if they're quick, and they are quick enough. Hafeez and Rizwan.
Rizwan was coming to the dinner, that's why they got 2.
80 for 2. 2 balls left of the 10th over.
Good variation of the pace, 45, 46, 49 and 50. Adil Rashid was bowling last over 51, 52 miles per hour. It's always for the leg spinner, they can spin the ball anywhere. It's always to see some dry pitch and little bit help for them.
Required rates up close to 12 now, it's been 18 deliveries since we've seen a boundary.
Yes, they've been bowling really well, but in T20 format, 1 good over, 2 good overs and change the momentum.
Parkinson in on a length, another beauty. What a ball. Buttler whips the bails off. No danger of a stumping, but really good bowling.
Beautiful delivery. Look at that. Whipped. Spin. Wow. Spin a lot. Great delivery.
Good start today from Parkinson. He's in once again. Late cut down to backward point. It'll prevent the run, and that's another dot ball. The pressure's beginning to build on Pakistan here. 10 overs gone, 80 for 2. An over that sees just 4 runs added. The target is 201. Some more thoughts from you, and then Scott Reed.
Both the spinner are bowling really well, and they're bowling with a good line and length, not giving anything to the batters, and ball is spinning a bit as well. Not easy for Hafeez and Rizwan to play. I think if they need to attack spinner, they need to go with the spin and hit through extra cover and mid-off area a bit more rather than, going cross-batting shot.
Actually, quite a fascinating little period of the game, isn't it now? With spin from both ends. middle overs of this T20 game. Rizwan potentially with the key here for Pakistan. He's in, he's on 36. He's looking to add to that now with a sweep shot out towards deep square leg. It was up to 37 not out. 81 for 2. Yeah, I find these periods of the T20 when certainly you've got spin from both ends be quite interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting time. Like there's no pace on the pitch as well, not giving any pace to the batsman to play cut shot or.
There's Hafeez waiting as Rashid bowls. It's swatted up towards long on for a single. Moves to 6. The score moves on to 82 for 2.
Rashid is such a clever bowler. He got so many varieties under his belt. Bowl wrong gun, bowl flipper, leg spin, bowl wide, attack the stumps, attack the pads as well. So he practiced all those things.
He's bouncing in from the emerald stand end. Down the pitch comes Rizwan. Oh, that's a sensational take by Adil Rashid off his own bowling. That is a magnificent catch to his left-hand side. He's got no right to take that. That was slapped back towards him with real pace by Mohammad Rizwan. And that is a ridiculously good catch from Adil Rashid off his own bowling. Colton bowled for 37. But how about this?
Oh, what a magnificent
one-handed
catch.
To his left.
What a magnificent catch. You won't see many catches better than this one. Well done, Adil Rashid. Keep putting pressure on the batsman and then in the end, getting wicket. Well done.
It's a superb piece of work off his own bowling. I mean, just to have the reactions to even get to it. It would have been a good stop, wouldn't it? Had he actually stopped it going for runs, but then to take the catch.
Unbelievable. What a catch.
Big blow for Pakistan. It felt like Rizwan potentially was the key there because he's the batsman in.
Oh, wow. Beautiful.
Rashid has plucked it from the air, leaping to his left. His hand outstretched after a little dance down the pitch, met it on the full.
Didn't middle it, but then in the end, what a catch. What a catch.
He has plucked it from the air. Seeing it back in slow motion looks impressive. Seeing it back in real time would be even more impressive. Rizwan departs. It's a big blow for Pakistan.
Big blow.
37 off 29. Fakhar Zaman, new batsman, slip in place as well.
Wrong and coming.
82 for 3. Rashid bowls. Oh, and that's edged to the right of slip. Down towards the boundary, and that's 4 runs as it hits the boundary sponge. But Malan at slip went to low down to his right hand side, little edge.
Oh, just didn't carry.
No, it
good
just
placement.
Bounced a fraction short. He's not going to hit too hard, has he? Neither.
No, I think Malan was slightly late on that ball. He was there to catch.
Rashid in and bowling to Fakhar Zaman. Little into out the shot, just pushing it into the offside. 2 extra cover, no run.
He got a great fielding position there, get the slip in and then edge on the first ball and then missed that opportunity.
The plan almost worked, didn't it, for England? Rashid bowls, down and one, looking to slog sweep it. Fakhar Zaman taken by Buttler, who clips off the bails, who then illuminates and flash. It's the end of the over. A wicket taking one for Adil Rashid. Just the most spectacular wicket taking over for Rashid, because the way he dismissed.
That's a wrong gun one. How well he bowled, very his pace, bowling wrong gun as well, as leg spin as well. So 3 overs for 18 runs and got a wicket as well. Wow. The spin twins are working really well here.
Yeah, quite intriguing to see 2 frontline leg spinners in the same team, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a good sign for England cricket, like T20 World Cup in Abu Dhabi, Dubai.
Yeah. Parkinson to start his 3rd over. In and bowls, and Hafeez goes back, plays it late, but chops it into the offside. Gets through for a single.
44 miles an hour, but it was a flat trajectory.
It is one aspect of Matt Parkinson's bowling which has caused a little bit of debate, certainly international level, is the speed in which he bowls.
Like when the pitch are flat, then you need some more pace, like when pitch is doing a little bit, I think that sort of pace is really good to work with. And if the pitch is slightly on the slower side, and if you're bowling slow, most successful T20 spinners, they bowl really slow in the middle period.
Parkinson twirling into Fakhar Zaman, who goes back and dabs it off his pads just in front of square on the leg side. Wants to come back for 2.
I remember Nan Doshi played with me at Surrey, like first couple of years, he bowled really slow. Don't give any pace. Batsman has to come down and hit him, uses all the power to hit him. So he always gets wickets.
Parkinson bowls and Fakhar Zaman looking to sweep it with a little thin bottom edge. It squirts down towards long leg for a single.
I think I'm seeing that Pakistani players, they're trying to play across the line rather than hitting straight. Small boundary both sides, straight boundaries. So come down the wicket and hit straight with the spin, not against the spin.
Jos Buttler and Moeen Ali in conversation. Parkinson as dry as his fingers on the ground on a warm, sweaty day at Headingley.
Run rate is creeping up, 13.6.
Currently going at just under 8. Hafeez comes down the pitch, strikes the ball through the onside. Chris Jordan from long on sweeps around to his right to complete the fielding. Parkinson applauds the work from Jordan. They do come back for 2, 92 for 3.
I don't understand. Pakistan won the toss and bowled. Like in the last game, they got 230 odd runs, and why they trying to do that?
Parkinson bowling. This is swept for a top edge, high out towards the onside. It might drop safe. Oh, it's a valiant effort to try and get to the ball from
Jonny Bairstow. What a great effort. What a great athlete he is.
He's made up a lot of ground there, hasn't he, from backward square leg, and he almost got to it, to be fair. Big thick top edge as he went to go and sweep. It went high out towards that leg side boundary, made up the ground, and it bounced just in front of him.
Yeah, again playing slog sweep, against the spin. Why don't you come down and hit straight through extra cover? That's his shot as well. Come on. Under pressure, when you're under pressure, mind gets cloudy and you can't make the right decision.
Parkinson in reverse sweep from Fakhar Zaman. He's picked up inside the infield, and there's no run. Tom Curran with the field in there for England. That's the end of the over. 3 overs bowled for Parkinson. He's gone for 17. 12 overs bowled in the Pakistan innings. 93 for 3. A target of 201 to win. So 8 overs remain and still a further 108 runs needed.
They bowled 6 over for 35 runs, the 2 spinners, and got wickets as well with that.
Just on the decision back at the toss, wanting to field first, what do you think would have been the reason behind it?
I think because England has so many power players, like they think, they're going to take the game away from us, and they were chasing down because Pakistan bat deep. And they said, okay, if they make 190, 200, we can easily chase down. But having 2 spinners in the side, and then Moeen Ali as well, so pitch is slightly helping the spinner.
Moeen back into the attack. Hafeez works the ball high out towards backward square leg, and taken by Bairstow, who enjoyed that. Gives it a big yelping celebration. The Yorkshireman at his home ground, underneath it, safe pair of hands. Had to watch it fall. It went high out towards backward square leg, and Hafeez departs, and Pakistan lose their 4th wicket. 93 for 4.
See, there's no pace on the pitch as well, and nothing there. It's very difficult to hit all the way, like taking the pace off. It's a good wicket for Moeen Ali and good catch from Bairstow.
Pakistan in a bit of a pickle here, aren't they, really, as to how to try and get this back together again. 93 for 4. Hafeez out for 10, caught Bairstow bowled by Moeen Ali. Try and take this deep, I guess, and take the game as deep as they can.
Yeah, now depend on Azam Khan. He's a clean striker of the cricket ball. He can play spin well, but playing his second game, international game, under pressure. Let's see how he can.
Well, I guess that's one of the reasons behind these types of fixtures ahead of a World Cup, is that you're looking to see how players react and respond. Absolutely,
and he's been picked, ahead of Asif and Kushtil. They both had wonderful PSL as well, but this guy got picked ahead of them. So let's see what he can produce. And I was strange to see, and like I said, Hafeez was batting ahead of Fakhar Zaman as well when 2 leg spinner was bowling, and they need to send Fakhar Zaman to take the leg spinner on.
And Fakhar Zaman is still there. He's unbeaten on 7. They crossed, so he's on strike. And Moeen Ali with his first wicket, 1 ball into his second over. Bairstow enjoyed that in front of his home crowd. He loved it. There's Moeen. Bowls and a little dab into the offside, just down towards backward point. Shuffle through for a single. And the score ticks along to 94 for 4.
And almost 14 runs an hour from there on.
Just a fraction under 14 runs required per over. 6 wickets in hand. I mean, you can play catch-up, can't you, if you've got wickets in hand, but it is pushing it at 14 runs required, even at this stage. Azam Khan comes down the pitch. Ball squirts down towards short fine leg. Gets through for a run. Has that come off the little pad? It may have come off his little pad, I think. No, he's got a little bit of bat on that. Just a little flick out towards short fine leg. So he's up and running. 95 for 4.
Getting 14 and 15 runs on a spinning pitch is a very difficult task.
Moeen around the wicket, balls to Fakhar Zaman, who is beaten. Oh, he'd been bowled or stumped. He came dancing down the pitch. The ball beaten. Buttler may have taken it and clipped off the bails, or the ball may have deflected directly onto them. But Pakistan have lost a 5th wicket. And the game is rapidly running away from them. 95 for 5. Moeen Ali with 2 wickets in the over.
Again, a little bit of spin there. He was coming down the wicket to try to take on Moeen Ali, but just a touch spin. Then the trick for Moeen Ali. And in the end, he was nowhere.
Yeah. No, he was well beaten, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Bowled by Moeen Ali for 8. Fakhar Zaman. I mean, the pitch, it's turning, but it's not turning massively, is it? But is it just turning enough?
Just turning enough, like it's not giving you enough time to play those shots, It's not easy. So you have, when average is 14 or 15, above 10, it's not easy to play your shot as easily. As we saw in the first innings as well, like it's 40-year-old pitch now, so pitch is slightly getting slower.
Yeah, slow, low pitch that's just turning a fraction with a couple of leggers in the team, and Moeen as well. Livingstone, of course, can also ball spin. There's plenty of options there for Buttler. That slips back in place. Imad Wasim on strike, looking to try and reverse it straight away, but a play and a miss. Through to the keeper, no run.
T20 cricket allow you to do that. You just lost a wicket and then the first ball go reverse it.
Let's try and reverse sweep it. Third man's inside the ring, has his fine leg. Moeen in and bowling, just nudged away off the hip. He's going to run. Flicked it away through mid-wicket for a single. 96 for 5. And that's the end of the 13th as well. 96 for 5. Imad Wasim on 1 and Azam Khan on 1 as well. Good over for Moeen Ali. 2 for 17 now from his 2 overs.
Good crease from all the spinners, like Moeen Ali, Adil, Rashid and Parkinson. Brilliant stuff. Look at the scorecard, apart from Babar, Azam and Rizwan after that, it's nothing much for them.
Yeah, Rizwan 37, Babar Azam 22. Of course, put on exactly 50 for the first wicket. It's a wonderful opening partnership. The average just over 50 in T20 cricket, those two. So it was a good start. As Parkinson's in, and Imad Wasim comes down the pitch and sends it back over the bowler's head, down towards the long off boundary for 6 runs to bring up the 100 for Pakistan. 102 for 5.
That was a good shot, using his feet, coming down the pitch, coming down to the ball and hitting clean straight. That's what I was talking about, why don't you hit straight when you can hit straight?
Well, you've been calling for it. Imad Wasim delivered it. His runs here as he comes down the pitch again, a swing, trying to swat the ball out towards deep mid-wicket, and in the end it just flicks off a little thin bottom edge past the keeper. It's picked up by short fine leg. He could have easily have crash back onto the stumps.
Yeah, it's a great courage as a spinner, you know, bowling and batsman is coming to you after every single ball.
Well, a little like Azam Khan for Pakistan and Matt Parkinson for England here, seeing what he can do under pressure. Bowling this time, and it's swept, but with no bat, it deflects off the thigh pad. So leg bye has been signalled. Score ticks along to 104 for 5. Parkinson into his 4th and final over. Gone for ball 24. He's over the wicket and bowling. And again, Imad Wasim comes a step down the pitch and clobbers it down toward long on, but just for one run. Chris Jordan fielding, 105 for 5.
I like Imad's idea, you know, coming down the wicket and hitting straight.
Moved up to 9. Brings Azam Khan back on strike. Parkinson, the blonde-haired leg spinner, twirling his way in, asking for an LBW as he goes on the reverse to try and play it. Ball clatters into him, deflects out into the onside. The umpire says not out. Parkinson is interested.
Buttler is interesting, and they're taking the review.
Left it late with just a second to go, but they're going to have a look at it.
TV umpire to director, we have a player review for LBW. On-field decision is not out. It's a fair delivery. Can I have front-on spin vision, please?
I wouldn't say it was massively convincing, the appeal from Parkinson, but we shall see now. Third umpire David Mills. Let's see.
Can't tell from there.
Well, the first. Oh, I think he may have come off his gloves.
Just rewind that, please.
Yeah, I think that's just deflected off the glove, hasn't it? Onto his thigh pad.
I think, yeah.
Thank you. We'll go through to Ultra Edge. We'll just confirm what I'm seeing.
Yeah, just need confirmation as to whether that has deflected off the glove, but I think it has.
And freeze it on the Ultra Edge. Thank you. We'll go back on field to Martin.
Should be given not out.
Martin, stick with your original decision. You're on camera now.
Good to see you, Martin Sager.
One ball left at the 14th. It wasn't a hugely convincing appeal from Parkinson, who does enjoy a good appeal. Down the pitch comes Azam Khan, swing and a miss, taken by Buttler, clips off the bails, and Parkinson picks up his first wicket of the game with his last ball as well. 1 for 25, Parkinson. 6 down now, Pakistan. Azam Khan. It's been bowled in the end by Parkinson. No, stumped by Jos Buttler for 1.
What a great delivery. What a great delivery to finish the spell and getting wicket. He wasn't there to hit, you know, he come down the wicket. He was away from his body. And Azam Khan looking to hit for big 6. This time he has to go.
How much courage is that for a young leg spinner right at the very start of his international career to back himself to bowl that? Because that's his final ball of his 4-over spell.
He bowled really well throughout his spell, you know. He could get more wicket than that, but unfortunately he didn't get it. But you know, it's a great courage to have any spinner, not just a leg spinner, to come in and bowl against a player like modern day players, you know, who can hit the ball from the ball 1. And we saw today, you know, like England batsmen were doing the same thing and Pakistan trying to do the same thing, but you know, it didn't their day today.
So Parkinson's bowled out. Shadab Khan, the new batsman, 183 T20 runs to his name. 96 needed for Pakistan. 6 overs remain, 4 wickets in hand, and the trial by spins are going to continue because Moeen is back in, and this is a nice lofted drive over mid-off by Imad Wasim. That comes a long off-fielder to field. Score ticks along to 106 for 6. Imad moves into double figures, moves to 10. Shadab taking guard from the umpire. Moeen spinning the ball from one hand to the other. There's a long on, a long off. There's a deep mid-wicket, deep backward square leg. And there's a deep extra cover. Jonny Bairstow has the pleasure of being in front of the Western Terrace. He's coming to him as well as Shadab goes back and cuts the ball, playing it late. Out to deep backward point. Bairstow picks it up, clean pair of hands. There'll be plenty of friendly faces in that crowd for Jonny Bairstow, the Yorkshireman, and his home ground. 107 for 6. Azam Mahmood has left us. Alex Hartley's back.
Just. So when you come on air, you're meant to bring your headset. So I sat down without my headset.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Excellent. Moeen in. This is clubbed out towards mid-wicket. One bounce. Bairstow after it. Beats him. Hits the boundary sponge and he gets 4. He's been a bit no-nonsense here, Imad Wasim, but I quite enjoyed it. Kind of stand and deliver stuff. He's up to 14 already. 111 for 6.
Well, he needs to back like that, doesn't he? If his team have got any chance of winning this game. England have been clinical today, yes. Pakistan had a brilliant power play, but then England have picked up consistent wickets.
Moeen around the wicket balls. He goes again out towards long on. Who's underneath this one? But it'll bounce in front of Chris Jordan. Just at the single. For a second, Jordan thought he was in business there. He just went to his left and bounced maybe 4 or 5 yards in front of him. Score moves on to 112 for 6.
Thought we were going to get a Chris Jordan special there, but it wasn't meant to be.
It was in that area, wasn't it, for a Jordan special? This is heaved away through the onside for 6. Out towards deep square leg by Shadab. Moves up to 7. Score moves on to 118 for 6. So a bit more of this by Pakistan. Obviously keeps them in the game, but keeps their fans entertained as well. Every boundary greeted by cheers and the waving of the flags and the sounds of the horns.
Yeah, that previous delivery just angling down the leg side and brilliantly picked up. Heaved into the leg side. I mean, these boundaries are absolutely massive and we've seen them be cleared so many times today.
Yeah, with feels like kind of relative ease, doesn't it, really? Last ball of the 15th, Moeen in and bowls. This is worked off the back foot by Shadab out towards mid-wicket. He's actually just timed it beautifully towards the edge of the 30-metre circle. He wants a second, it could be tight. Butler's demolished the stumps. They'll have to have a look at that. Pick up and throw. Butler took it with the gloves.
TV umpire to director. We have an umpire review for run-outs.
And he has demolished the timber.
Can I see your best side on angle, please?
It was emphatic from Butler, wasn't it? Not sure.
I'll have another angle here as well.
Will he make it? Is he back? Throw comes in. Butler takes it in front of the stumps.
Thank you. Ready for my decision to the big screen. Decision not out. Not out.
Not out. 15 overs gone. 118 for 6. Alex, a few thoughts from you. Then Henry's back.
Well, it's an absolute bullet arm from Tom Curran. Brilliantly taken by Jos Buttler. He stands in front of the stumps. But it wasn't meant to be. He was in by about a foot in the end. But England have been exceptional.
As you say, after that power play, it looked like this was going to be a really close game. It may yet be, but with 81 further runs required from 5 overs and 6 wickets down, it's going to take something quite unusual, I think it's fair to say.
Or remarkable is what I would like. Yeah.
Yes, Adil Rashid is going to bowl with 2 wickets to his name already. Could be a third as it's spooned up out towards deep cover, but it drops just short. Bairstow, who's been busy in the field, runs in front of the western terrace to pick up. Really impressed with Matt Parkinson today.
He's class. I think he's so good. Still so young as well. I think he's 23 years old. 24 years old.
1 for 25 from his 4 today. As Rashid is in, it's just back of a length, in the air, flash through the offside, out to Malan at deep cover. And one more. Ones aren't really going to do it for Pakistan here. 122 for 6. The target 201.
And what I like about Matt Parkinson is unfazed. You know, in the previous game he went at 11s off his 4 overs, but totally unfazed. He came out today and bowled exactly the same way as he did.
Rashid drops it a little bit short, clubbed down the ground with a flourish up towards Chris Jordan at long on for another single. 1, 2, 3 for 6.
Bowled exactly the same way as he did in the previous game, and he knows that some days a bowler like him it's going to come off and some days it's not, and that's the style of bowler he is. But what's exciting is he spins the ball and he turns it sharply. He allows the ball to go up above the eye line, puts serious revs on it.
Rashid drops it horribly short. It hit away into the leg side. 4 or 6. It'll be, well, hold on a minute, possibly not even 4. You can hear the roar and the applause because I think that's Liam Livingstone,
He's done it again.
who's dived over the ropes, mid-air, Superman style, with the ball having bounced and hauled it back in. Let's have a look at this. It's in the air. He takes off now. His foot is down, and then he just tucks it up in time to hook that ball back. I think that will not be signalled for because of a brilliant piece of thinking. To talk you through it, the ball bounces. Livingstone sprinting round. He's over the ropes. Then he tucks the foot up as he scoops the ball away. Have they given 4?
I'm pretty sure they've just given it 4.
Yes, they have. Oh, well, that's disappointing. 127 for 6. Hit in the air, over Moeen Ali at extra cover and for 4. Shadab with back-to-back boundaries, 131 for 6. I only say disappointing as it was such a good effort and so entertaining to watch. 1 ball left of the 16th over.
I mean, it was a brilliant piece of fielding from Liam Livingstone, wasn't it? That man again, out in the deep, trying to hold the ball back in.
Rashid bowling, again looking for the offside, and a single is taken. So end of the 16th over, 4 left in this game. The glorious sunshine at Headingley. Pakistan chasing 201, are 132 for 6 off their 16 overs thus far. Adil Rashid finishes 4 overs, 3 for 30. And Pakistan well behind the rate at the moment as hi-ho silver lining booms around Headingley. I'm so used to it being Edgbaston. It feels like, do you know, it feels like a finals day sort of number.
It does. It's so good to have so many people back in. Isn't as well. It? Oh, I've missed crowds at cricket games. I've missed crowds at football games. I've just missed crowds.
Yeah, it makes such a difference. I know we always knew that, but we so appreciate it now, right? So Saqib Mahmood is going to bowl from the far end of the ground. Something tells me they're having some fun out there, Alex.
It's just a tiny little part of me that thinks, to be in that Western Terrace.
Yeah, I think there are many people having a very good afternoon.
They'll be severely sunburnt because for the first time this year we've probably had 30 degrees here in Leeds.
Seriously warm. 132 for 6. 16 overs gone. The target 201 as Shadab prepares to face, and a little change of the field allows a few more bars of Jeff Beck.
It's funny as well though, because it's not often sunny in Yorkshire.
Alex, we're not going to have your Lancashire-Yorkshire bias this afternoon. Don't make that face at me. No.
I must have brought the weather with me, Henry.
You must have done, yeah. Of all places to try and have a meteorological superiority, you're from Manchester, Alex. Mahmood bowling. Top edge into the offside. Chance if it catches it. No, Bairstow runs in. He can't quite get there. Reaches it on the half volley. 133 for 6. Matt Parkinson, just to finish that conversation, he ahead of the 100, which starts this week. You'll see it across the BBC. 18 matches on television, every game on radio. Well, Matt Parkinson was doing a bit for BBC TV, a sort of get to know the players kind of thing. It was also rate yourself out of 100 at cooking, at dancing, all these things. And one of the questions was about cooking, and he was asked what his favourite food was. Okay, Imad is on 17. Saqib bowling, whacked into the leg side, and it'll be at least 1, could be 2, will be 2. Bairstow prevents the boundary with a fine piece of fielding out there in the deep, and the crowd applaud somebody that has done his fair share of running out there on the boundary in the last couple of hours. 135 for 6. And we'll just look at it now. Yeah, I think that's not gonna, well, he's had to sort of, well, he's had to do a little roly-poly. Has his foot touched the rope? I don't think so.
No, he's miles away.
I don't think so.
It's a brilliant bit of fielding from Jonny Bairstow.
And Matt Parkinson, other people that have been asked this question said things like, chocolate, cake.
I think I know what's coming now. I'm good friends with Parkinson and his girlfriend.
Mahmood bowling, hooked away into the leg side, bounced just short of Tom Curran at backward square leg. And 136 for 6 in the 17th. 201 the target.
Now, if he's not said a jubbly.
What's a jubbly?
The ice pop.
No, he's not.
He's not said a jubbly.
He surprised me even. What's a jubbly?
So the triangle ice frozen.
Oh, yeah,
ice
in the little cardboard.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I've not had one of them for a while.
He has them every single day.
Does he?
So I'm intrigued to say what his favourite food was.
He said, without even pausing to think, peas.
Oh, yeah, it is peas. He has peas on everything.
He said that. I couldn't believe it.
Everything.
You can have any food in the world, Matt. Peas.
Loves peas.
Right then. Mahmood into ball to Shadab, who's swinging hard and missing, almost swinging himself off his feet. Goes through to Jos Buttler. 1-3-6 for 6. And that was, I have to confess, a little bit of a surprise.
So, everything that Laura, which is Matt Parkinson's girlfriend, cooks, she has to put peas with because he loves peas.
So even if it's like, what, full English?
Peas, everything.
There was just, he said it as sort of as a reflex, and then there was silence, and he realised it was a slightly unusual thing to have said. Shadab on 20 as Mahmood runs in, right arm over from the far end. Another swing and a miss as it goes through to Buttler. England slowly but surely creeping their way towards victory. We're midway through the over, or I should say 1 ball left of the 17th, the required rate 20.5.
So I've just texted Laura saying, we're talking on air about how much Matt loves peas. She said, oh my word, he is obsessed. Chicken and peas, he would eat peas forever.
Well, there you go. That is straight from the nerve centre of Matt Parkinson's world, straight from the absolute authority. 136 for 6. Another swing from Shadab. This time he gets hold of it, and he gets 6 behind square on the offside. The arms rise in the Western Terrace, trying to reach up and grab that ball. Somebody takes the catch, and Jonny Bairstow will have to kick the ball back to the umpire for it to be disinfected. But 6 onto the total, 1-4-2 for 6. That was a good shot, that.
Brilliant shot, up and over, backward point. We see it so much in T20 cricket now, batters helping the ball as it's on its rise, just up and over extra. Saqib Mahmood there with a big cry of no. He knows that. Costly towards his figures. He's bowled absolutely brilliantly tonight as Saqib Mahmood in the power play especially. Just hitting the top of off.
As a bowler, when you've done the hard work, if you know what I mean, to have your figures ruined, so frustrating.
It is. It's one of those where you sometimes you bowl really well and a drop catch goes for 6 or 4 and it ruins it, and people looking at the scorecard, because people do, they look at a scorecard and say, well, they must have bowled rubbish, they've gone for 48 or they've gone for 35. Well, actually they've bowled really well. There's a couple of drop catches, but Saqib Mahmood, he's barely got anything wrong today.
You keep thinking it's the evening. I know what you mean, though.
It's got an evening feel.
It does have an evening feel. 142 for 6. 3 overs left. The required rate is 19.67. Tom Curran has the ball in hand for his 3rd over. He's wearing the headband that has become, well, more and more doing it now. I saw Hardik Pandya's got himself a headband.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
In comes Sam Curran. It's been lofted down the ground. It should be a catch for Jason Roy. Easy as you like at long on. Imad Wasim goes for 20. It's a wicket for Tom Curran. And Jason Roy barely had to move. 142 for 7.
Yeah, he had to go for it. The run rate up now at 19 runs per over. So Pakistan, they've got to go for it here. You know, they've got to look for those boundaries. But a simple catch for Jason Roy and his new blonde lid.
It was as easy as can possibly be. It was catching practice. Ball looping towards him, and Wasim goes 20 from 13. The man born in Swansea departs. 142 for 7. Well, this one's going to go to England, which sets up a magnificent finale on Tuesday night at Old Trafford.
At the home of cricket.
Well, at Old Trafford, yes. With coverage on Test Match Special, you will hear it all. I should say, the end of this game, it's been live all day on BBC One. And you'll be able to watch the concluding overs if you tune that in. And then the final game of this series gets underway at 6:30 on Tuesday night. Full commentary on 5 Live Sports Extra. Highlights on BBC Two later in the evening. And on the BBC Sport website and app right now, you can see Liam Livingstone's 6 from earlier, which I'm half expecting to get back to London and find the ball nestled in my garden. It was the most ridiculous hit. 142 for 7. Curran, right arm over. Shadab, who's chopping the ball as far as backward point, but there's no run.
Now, as big as Liam Livingstone's striking was, and the ball clearing the Emerald stand, it went in the rugby ground. It didn't go to London.
Did you see it land?
No, I didn't see it land.
We shall wait and see.
You can't wait for you to ask for a white cricket ball and take a picture in your back garden.
No, I wouldn't. 142 for 7. Drive down the ground for 1. It's picked up by Chris Jordan. 143 for 7. We have 15 balls left of this game.
And Pakistan need plenty.
They do. Their required rate standing at 23.2. But currently they're going at 8.1. So with the Duckworth-Lewis Stern score, par score at 172, that gives a little indication of how far off things they are. Shaheen Shah Afridi, with no bat sponsor on the blade, he rests on his shoulder, looks up and sees an England field with deep mid-wicket, deep backward square, fine legs now coming up inside the circle. We've got a deep third, a long on, deep cover. As Tom Curran is going to bowl round the wicket. Shaheen Afridi, tall left-hander, swings hard, and he looked like a tail-ender there. I'm afraid, Alex, misses, goes through to Buttler.
He did, just back of a length from Tom Curran, probably 6 inches above the top of off. And he's swung hard and completely missed it. Decent delivery from Tom Curran, though.
Pace off, yeah. 70 miles an hour. I was chatting to Azam earlier about Tom Curran, talking about how sometimes you can have too many variations, actually not going enough to your stop delivery, that the variations almost become too standard. Oh, there's a gentleman that's decided the stands are not quite enough for him. And, oh my word. Well, there we go. I'm not sure he necessarily saw that fence was there. It was quite the catapult back into the stand, and he's disappeared somewhere into Headingley. We don't like seeing that. Well, that got the crowd on their feet. 143 for 7.
I always think, what goes through people's minds to that? Because now he's not going to be allowed in a cricket stadium again.
Tom Curran sprinting in round the wicket to bowl to Shaheen. He's looking to paddle the ball down the leg side, but misses. And then looks up and says, well, is that wide? And the umpire at this end, umpire Saggers, well, says, no, you moved across, so I'm afraid not. You make a good point. It's quite short-termist, isn't it?
5 seconds of fun he had there. He dodged one security guard and another, clattered into a fence, and he's been booted out and will never be allowed back in.
143 for 7. Shaheen is yet to get a run. He's faced 2 balls as Curran is in. That's been lofted in the air. Could be a chance for a catch. Chris Jordan's running. Not even he can get that one. Loses his cap, loses his sunglasses, but can't take the catch. Running back from mid-off, and a couple of runs to Shaheen Shah Afridi. 145 for 7. 18 overs gone. The target 201.
A smile on Chris Jordan and Tom Curran's face, because they both know if anyone was going to catch it, it was going to be Chris Jordan. He picks the ball up, he tries to throw it, it slips out of his hand, showing how warm it is out there. It'll be very sweaty.
I was reminded of a marvellous moment in cricket history from about probably 8 or 9 years ago. Do you remember when Andrew Strauss was fielding? And he went to pick the ball up and lost his sunglasses in the process. As he threw the ball back in, he threw it at the sunglasses in midair, and they exploded into a sort of 1,000 bits of plastic.
I do remember that.
This?
Yeah, what a strange and wonderful bit of footage that was.
Yeah. It's a proper what happened next. 2 overs left. Mahmood is going to bowl his final over. He's on bowling from the far end, the football ground end, the Emerald stand high up above him in the distance. Josh Buttler organising his troops. No Owen Morgan today, rested, so Buttler has the gloves and the captaincy. We've got deep backward square, deep mid-wicket, long on, deep cover and deep backward point. As Mahmood runs into bowl to Shadab. Mahmood bowling fast and wide and almost sending Shadab off his feet as he tried to reach that one. It's signalled wide. And there'll be one more onto the total, 147 for 7.
What I like though is Pakistan are actually trying to find the boundary rather than the tail enders here just batting out the 20 overs. You might as well die trying.
Oh yeah, it's proper going for it kind of stuff. The required rate stands at 27.5, so it really is now or never. 146 for 7. Another big swing. Dribbles out to behind square on the offside, where Jonny Bairstow for the umpteenth time today picks up. 146 for 7 now. And we've got 11 balls left of this game. As long as Pakistan can bat through that long, Mahmood will be looking to try and finish with another wicket or two if he can. How do you rate how he's bowled today?
I think he's bowled brilliantly. He's just carried on his form from the ODIs. You know, he bowled brilliant in those ODIs, getting player of the series, leading wicket taker, and then today in the power play is where he's been exceptional.
146 for 7. Buttler crouches behind the stumps as Mahmood is in, full delivery, dug out as far as mid-off, and it's just a moment where Chris Jordan thinks about throwing down the stumps, decides against it, and the score moves to 147 for 7.
He's also bowling the hardest overs in the game. You know, he's bowled the back end of the power play and now he's bowling at the death. And I think that really shows what Jos Buttler thinks of him and how he rates him, because he's bowling the 19th over. The penultimate over is quite often the do or die over in T20 cricket, especially when games are close. So he's rated very highly in this England side now, is Saqib Mahmood, after his brilliant past performances.
Well, Owen Morgan, the England regular captain, has sat with his floppy hat on the boundary edge and looking pensive. He's seen some good performances from England.
He has. We might be wondering how he's getting back in.
Here comes Mahmood to bowl to the left-handed Shaheen. It's gone high in the air. Should be a catch. It is a catch. And Chris Jordan, he's taken many outstanding catches. That one very straightforward at mid-on, and an 8th wicket falls. 147 for 8 is the Pakistan score as Mahmood strikes to remove Shaheen Afridi for just 2.
Yeah, another well-deserved wicket for Saqib Mahmood. Again, he's not done anything different. He's just bowled full, straight, back of a length. Full, straight, back of a length. He's just bowled back of a length, straight.
He's done it all.
Yeah, he's done everything. He's bowled the snake ball, it's swung away, it's swung in.
Afridi goes for 2. 147 for 8. And a nice moment for Mahmood. As you say, he's bowled the difficult overs today, and I almost find that T20 stats sometimes don't necessarily give a reflection of the success either a batter or a bowler has, because sometimes someone will come in batting with 3 balls left and score 12 and be out, and their average might then be 12, but what a contribution that has been. Do you know what I mean? There's some sort of different value in performances. Mahmood bowling to Ralph, who's lofting the ball down the ground on the full. Sorry, it's Shadab on strike, and it is 6. Batters having crossed, and Shadab picks up 6 runs down the ground on the full. Mahmood will be frustrated. It's 153 for 8.
He will, but what a shot. He's just picked it up, as you said, on the full. Straight out the middle of the bat. He's just lofted it, almost half hit the ball. And all Dawid Malan could do was just watch it go into the stands.
It was just a elegant lift, really. Low full toss, dispatched down the ground. 153 for 8. We got 8 balls left in this game. Shadab has 34 from 16. Mahmood 2 for 32. Has 2 balls left of his spell. The right-handed Shadab on strike. Swinging into the offside. Cries of catch, but drops well short of Bairstow. Deep cover. So Harris Ralph will be on strike with 1 ball left of the 19th over. You say sort of, I know in jest, how does Owen Morgan get back in this side? But this series, the 2 games in this series, there have been players that have really stood up. Liam Livingstone in particular now looks undroppable, doesn't he?
Yeah, it does. But what is good is England can pick a starting 11 based on form. You know, Moeen Ali today and going in and absolutely whacking it as well. If Owen Morgan isn't in form, and Moeen Ali is, Liam Livingstone is, well, I'm sorry, but you know, Morgan might have to sit out, and I feel like he's the sort of captain that wouldn't mind doing that either.
Harris's first ball is bowled. It was full, it was straight, and it's a third wicket for Saqib. Harris goes first ball, and I do have a little bit of sympathy here. It's 154 for 9 because one of the markers for the 30-yard circle appeared to emerge from some part of Mahmood as he came into bowl. How's that happened? And I just wonder if it got in Harris's eye line. What's gone on there?
I think it got stuck in his spikes, and as he then went in his bound to deliver the ball, it flicked off him, but it almost looked like he'd thrown it.
Yeah.
Put him off.
It looked like he was chucking a frisbee. Oh, I was wondering when we might get a bit of Sweet Caroline. It was a matter of time.
It was a matter of time.
No Sweet Caroline in the 100, apparently.
It will happen, though, let's be honest. You try and stop a full crowd singing Sweet Caroline. What they're going to do, shout, stop.
Where's this come from? It's not come from his shoe, has it? Where's that come from?
It's come from his shoe.
It hasn't. Has it come out of his waistband? What's going on there? That's weird.
He's not got a...
As he comes into bowl, suddenly one of those little white discs flies out.
It's not come out of his waistband, though. He's not fielding with a disc in his waistband.
Well, I don't know.
It's a lucky disc.
Yeah, maybe it was a CD. Tom Curran bowling short and wide. Smacked out towards deep cover for 1. 154 for 9. So what you're saying is even if the music's not on, we might get a bit of this.
Yeah, this. So good.
I imagine when Neil Diamond sat down and penned this, he was very much thinking of T20 cricket.
He just like, you know what, I'm going to write a song that's going to last forever, and they're going to sing it in massive crowds, but not during the 100.
It's going to take 50 years to mature, but when it hits... Shadab on 35. Full delivery. Whipped on the full out towards deep mid-wicket and Moeen alley in front of that western terrace that has been, well, as noisy as you'd expect it to be on a day like today with the sun shining, big crowd in. It's a very different noise to the last time that England were here, where every delivery, and listening back to that commentary of the Ben Stokes Day in the Ashes, the really telling thing is the silence between each delivery. Nobody says anything.
Everyone's just so nervous, aren't they? Everyone's just gritting their teeth, hoping for England to get that win.
What a day. Here comes Tom Curran then. Very full, looking to finish it off, but down comes the bat from Shadab, driven up the ground. 154 for 9. 3 balls left. England are going to win this game. And the required rate has disappeared off the scoreboard. And that tells you all you need to know, because the target of 201 will be well away from what Pakistan can muster here. 154 for 9. 3 balls left. As Tom Curran comes in. Very full and big swing inside edge down towards short fine leg, where Parkinson does the fielding. Well, this is the other song that is very popular now in crowds. Football, cricket, and again, I don't think that Billy Ray Cyrus anticipated that Achy Breaky Heart would become a cricket anthem. But there we go.
It's one of those you can't not sing along to as well.
Oh, I disagree, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
You're not singing this in your head, or is it?
No.
Of course you are, you big liar.
Tom Curran with a very full delivery out into the offside, and there's no run. There's a single actually. They run through for that 1 run. We have 1 ball left of the game. 155 for 9. I think it has probably been perennially in my head for about 3 years now.
Yeah, it's the line, I just don't want to go to work. I like that one. It gets me. I'm like, I feel you. I don't want to go to work.
Alex, you're a professional cricketer, and you have just put on Instagram #LoveMyJob.
Best job in the world.
Don't give me that. Final ball of the game then. 155 for 9. Hasnain will face his first delivery as Tom Curran comes in. Big swing and a miss. And the game concludes. England victorious. Applause from around Headingley. It has been clinical from England today. They've won by 45 runs to level the series. The crowd have had a brilliant day out. England have had a brilliant day out. And the celebrations for Jos Buttler and his team. No Eoin Morgan today, as we mentioned, but celebrations for Buttler and his team in red, because this has been professional and a game won in the image and the DNA of England and white ball cricket in recent years.
Yeah, everything, the brand of cricket England want to play, isn't it? They've gone out and been aggressive with the cricket bat and setting a target of 200. I mean, they lost the 2 quick wickets in the power play, but, you know, Buttler and Ali had a brilliant partnership. Buttler 59 off 39 deliveries. And the firepower just doesn't stop with this England batting lineup, and it's so exciting to see. No captain, no Owen Morgan today, why do I keep saying tonight? And you know, they're still just as good, this England team.
Yeah, they just keep on coming. And when you look at that England lineup, and you've got Jonny Bairstow coming in at 6, and still Tom Curran, Chris Jordan, Adil Rashid. It's just a relentless stream of batting talent. So England hit 200 exactly, all out for 200, the first time ever in T20s that a side has been all out and hit 200 or more in consecutive matches, which tells its own story about how England approach things. All out for 200, top scoring Jos Buttler with 59. Liam Livingstone made 38, including the most monstrous of sixes down the ground and into the rugby ground. And also runs there for Moeen Ali, 36 from 16. With the ball for Pakistan, 3 wickets for Mohammad Hasnain. The target then 201. It got off to a good start as well. Pakistan made 50 for the first wicket before Babar Azam was caught by Dawid Malan off the bowling of Mahmood for 22. And next out, Sohaib Maqsood for 15. Mohammad Rizwan played nicely, but a brilliant caught and bowled chance taken by Adil Rashid. He went for 37, top scored in the innings. Mohammad Hafeez made 10 from 12, and at that point the innings just started to grind to a little bit of a halt. Fakhar Zaman was bowled by Moeen Ali for 8. Azam Khan made 1 from 4 before being stumped by Buttler off the bowling of Parkinson. Imad Wasim played nicely for 20 from 13. Shaheen Shah Afridi made just 2. Haris Rauf out first ball to Mahmood, and there at the end Shadab Khan 36 not out from 22 with a couple of 4s and 3 6'd, and Mohammad Hasnain not out on 0. Wicket takers for England. Adil Rashid picked up 2 for 30 from his 4 overs. Chris Jordan 1 over, none for 12. Tom Curran 4 overs, 1 for 22. Saqib Mahmood led the way, 4 overs, 3 for 33. Moeen Ali 3 overs, 2 for 32, and Matt Parkinson 4 overs, 1 for 25. Comfortably England's day, and comfortably a day where bowlers with opportunities, you look at Parkinson, Mahmood and Tom Curran in particular, with good economy and wickets taken in there, they will have done their chances of being a big part of Owen Morgan's thoughts no harm there.
Yeah, 3 young players. I know Tom Curran's played a lot of international cricket, but especially Saqib Mahmood and Matt Parkinson really, you know, saying, hang on a minute, yes, we're young, yes, we haven't played much cricket, but we'll perform on the world stage. And they, you know, Saqib Mahmood especially, over the last 4 or 5 games, he's been exceptional, and he's really staked his claim for selection. You know, he's so good in the power play and brilliant at the death there for England, and somebody that's really exciting to watch.
Yeah, there's that energy about him. He looks like somebody that is willing to do the hard yards as well as bowl those opening overs where the ball is swinging a bit more. He did that in the ODI series, but in this game, didn't open the bowling, bowled the awkward power play overs, then the difficult ones, sort of 17 and 19 as well. So there seems to be a versatility there. Yeah,
there does, and I think that's credit to him, and that's Jos Buttler trusting Saqib Mahmood to bowl those hard overs. And once you bowl the 4th over in the power play and you only go for, you know, 6 like he did, you know, he's on to a winner. You know, he's bowled absolutely brilliantly.
Matt Parkinson, 4 overs, 1 for 25. A good performance on any day, but a really good performance when you consider that he was expensive the other night and had to show quite a little bit of courage there.
Yeah, credit to him. You know, he's not frightened of anything. He went at 11s in the previous game, and he's come out today, and yes, he turned the ball. We saw some sharp turn from the wicket. He bowled from the commentary end, so to speak, and he just bowled brilliantly. You know, only going at 6s on a wicket where his fellow spinner, you know, Adil Rashid was quite more expensive. Does that make sense? That doesn't make sense.
A bit more expensive.
A bit more expensive.
We'll go with that.
That makes sense. Adil Rashid with all the experience in the world, but Matt Parkinson not fazed by absolutely anything, and just bowled his deliveries, put the ball on a penny, and got the reward.
Brand of cricket is a phrase that has been doing the rounds for about a decade, and it's one of those ones that sort of frustrates people a little bit, because it's quite an easy phrase that players can use in press conferences, which is, oh, you know, we didn't quite play the brand of cricket we were looking for today, and, you know, it wasn't really the brand of cricket that we know. This it sort of is a catch-all for when you haven't played very well. But if we are to accept that phrase as being part of cricket parlance, if you like, England's brand of cricket, their DNA, is aggression, it is commitment, fearlessness. And the way that this innings played out, and that there was only one name in that list, and that was Adil Rashid, 2 from 4, with a strike rate under 100. Dawid Malan as well, he made 1 from 5, so that's 2, I should say. But everybody else with a strike rate comfortably over 100.
Yeah, and that's what the brand of cricket they want to play, don't they? They want to bat down to number 11. They want to keep finding the boundary. They want to be aggressive. They want to be scoring 200 plus as much as they can. But what I really like about this England side is they're adaptable. If things don't go their way, or they're on a wicket that isn't an absolute road like we've had tonight here at Headingley, then they can adapt and they can adjust, and they play game situations so well. And their brand of cricket is just exciting to watch. It's entertaining.
Yeah, and it's one of those, from an opponent's point of view, where you'll always be slightly fearful, because you know that no matter what you do, you're going to get no let up.
Yeah, and sometimes in cricket you go, right, okay, 2 or 3 wickets and we're really into the middle order here, we can put the brakes on. This England side, you get 3 or 4 wickets and you can't put the brakes on, because in comes Liam Livingstone and Jonny Bairstow.
And that's the problem, isn't it? There's just no let up.
There is no let up, and I think that's why this England side are so successful and are so brilliant to watch.
Liam Livingstone, you mentioned him, he made 100, the fastest 100 for England in any format the other night from 42 deliveries, made 38 from 23 in this game before a mix-up between he and Tom Curran saw him run out. As a player, he is confident, he is bullish, he looks as though he has zero issues in terms of self-doubt. How good could he be? How big a part of this England T20 squad could he be?
Oh, he's a brilliant, massive part of this England T20 squad. I think he's not played that much international cricket, but he's there because he's good enough, obviously. He strikes the ball. He's a player that teams will fear, because he just hits the ball so hard. I mean, I've never seen anything like we've seen tonight, hitting the ball out of over the Emerald stand. I mean, it was absolutely massive.
And it may sound like we're overplaying this, but we're really not. And I spoke off-air to Jimmy Anderson, who's been part of the BBC TV coverage, I should say. You'll be able to rewatch the whole game on the iPlayer shortly. But he was saying that last week during the Roses match, when he was here with Lancashire, they were talking and speculating during a rain delay whether it would even be possible to clear that stand. And today Liam Livingstone has done that. And initially the question was, was he into the top tier? Surely, but he wasn't the top tier. It was 20 feet above the top tier.
Honestly, the more we talk about it, the more it doesn't seem real, because that is absolutely massive. To hit a 6 into the second tier is a massive shot, but he's cleared the stand, and I just think he's such an exciting player to watch. You know, he's a hitter of the ball. He strikes the ball so cleanly and so well. And he's one of those players that even when he doesn't hit the ball cleanly, he hits it with such force, we often see it flying to the boundary still. Yeah,
Dawid Malan, Alex, who's had a little bit of a poor run of form, and he seems to be somebody that people get on the back of quite quickly when he doesn't score runs. 1 today, 1 in the previous match, followed by, before that, a couple of ducks. A couple of good scores, firstly in the first ODI against Pakistan, 68 not out, and then in the final T20 when he made 76 against Sri Lanka. But before that, 4 single-figure scores. So there's been quite the run of poor scores for him.
Yeah, he needs a score, doesn't he? I think if anyone's going to come back into the side, obviously Owen Morgan's going to come back into the side, and you think, who's he replacing out of everyone that's played today? And he might be the best batter in the world at the minute, ranked number 1 in T20s, but it's Dawid Malan. He hasn't had a score, so he needs runs. It's a